Welcome to North London is ours. Episode number 3, preseason. Let me switch, Alex. You gotta be on the. I'm sorry to put you on the red side, Alex. I did. Yeah. Episode number 3. It is the preview show before the preview of next week's games of the first week, and we got a lot of interesting topics to discuss, and we have some awesome content creators here. And TJ, how are you feeling, my friend?
You know, Mahri, I'm great. The work day, the work week is starting to wrap up. It's Friday tomorrow. North London is ours, the best North London rivalry show on YouTube. And you know what? I got to say, this is a pinnacle day for me in my YouTube career. You know, you get your first 100 subscribers. You get your first, 300, 400. But today is a banner day in my YouTube career because I get to share the screen with the one and only Mr. Box Office, professor of entertainment. You know, I've been watching Mr. Box Office waffle for about a year now on YouTube. Now I get to do it with him on screen. Big up Mr. Box Office. Big up Stefan. Of course, big up you, Mahri. It's a pleasure to co-host this with you. Let's get to it.
All right. We have our guests. Stefan, how are you feeling, my brother?
Hello, everyone. Thanks again for the invite. Feeling great. Also, just looking forward to the actual talk because I think there's a lot of just really cool topics, discussions, and of course, super excited. One more week until the actual Premier League season starts. Not one more, but a bit more. So I'm just super excited for the upcoming season. So yeah, let's go.
All right. And then it is an honor to have the main event. When you have a main event, you can only name it Box Office. There's only one and only Box Office. Is always an honor to have you. How are you doing, Alex?
Week to go before the actual show starts and the actual catastrophe starts and everything else, and then we're going to see some receipts that we'll be sending to some of these Spurs fans that talk a load of waffle, like I said before. You know what I mean? So it's just like I said, these shows are easy for me really because, like I said, I've already had my main course already. Big up Time Added On, by the way. Big up to Time Added On, by the way. Yeah, I had to give some receipts on that show, didn't I? So but yeah, here we go. Let's go and let's see how it rolls, and that's it. Mr. Box Office back in the mic, and that's it. I know people are going to start having a go at me like they always do, and that's it. But that's how it is, and that's how it always goes, and that's it. And if you don't know, get to know. Back to you, Mahri. I'm done.
Oh, let's go. Yes. Before we start, I always want to give a big up for those who are in here. We have Jesus of Nazareth. Okay. Hey, big up. We got Tony, big support. He's in the house. We got some big up guys. We got Scott M, who's also in the house. We got Ron, who's also in the house. My name is Jeff. And we got Frankfurt Gunnar, who's in the house. Big support of the channel. We got Graham. Big up Graham. He's in the house. We got Scott. Once again, big up Mahri, Alex, and TJ. We got Early Doors Football. Big up
Doors, baby.
We got Benjamin Foster, who's in the house. Yeah, Frank Good. He's already on the prowl. 7-time champion of the Emirates Cup. You can never sing that. Yeah. We got Arsenal History and More, who's also in the house. Big up.
My boy Jez Collins, everybody. Follow Jez Collins if you haven't already. Sub to Jez Collins.
Big up. Follow him. If you put the link on the chat, that would be awesome. JJ, we got Leon Necker, if I say it correctly, Leronica. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I apologize if I butchered it. Big up. We got Jamino, who's also in the house. Big up, big up. Oh, we got Mr. Atherson. Big up, big up, big supporter. We got East London Gooner. We got Andy Lloyd. Guys, spread the word about this show. It's the only unique show on YouTube. Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans, Battle Royale every week. Every week. We got Rob Aries, Levy out, Enoch out. Yes, stop exploring loyalty. Big up. We got Barbaric Disdain also in the house. We got Benjamin Foster. Big up. He's in the house. We got Lewis K. We got Lewis K, who's also in the house. We got Mama Flossie. I love that name. Mama Flossie.
The queen.
Oh.
She's the queen of YouTube. Everybody, the queen of YouTube.
The queen. Bow down to bow down. We got TJ who put the link up. Please subscribe and like. And we got the DJ in the house. Big up, big up. Thank you, Spurs and fans, for the 6 points. It's not gonna look good, but I don't know. Maybe we got some good news coming in, possibly. And we also got Dietrich, who's in. Oh man,
it's gonna be a good one.
Dietrich is putting some arrows up there. Please smash the likes, guys. Please smash the likes as we get more and more people coming in. Please smash the likes. Put the ticker on the ticker. Yep, North London is ours. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please subscribe to Soccer Sessions because this is where the show's eventually going to move. Super chats if you want your questions answered in. Hit the join button. Become a member of this channel. So let's start with my boy Alex. Preseason game recap. Let's start with we've had 11 days off. We haven't had a game. Embarrassing? Is it incompetent once again of Levy and Enoch? How do we go through a preseason period where we don't have a game between 11 days?
Let's just go back in June. Because everybody was like, said to me, oh, we made the appointment with Postecoglou. Everyone said to me, oh, you wanted that, Mr. Box Office main event. You told me you wanted good football. You wanted good football. I said on that very day, I need convincing. 3 signings went through the door. Maddison, because of FFP. Yeah? Vicario, because Parategy, who shouldn't be at our club, by the way, and now everybody's bigging up now that was criticising last season, who I said I've never have him any day of the week. I have David Pleat and I have Paul Mitchell all day long over them, all day long. You know what I mean? Even Steve Hitchin, I absolutely hated him. Yeah, and I had to forgive him for what he did because it wasn't his fault at the end of the day. Yeah, right. But I said, yeah, I'm sorry. They went for Vicario because Vicario was available and they wanted him for a long time, yeah? And they got him straight away, yeah? And the other team wanted to sell him, yeah? So Solomon was on a free, right? So those 3 signings, because one was on a free and the 2 other teams wanted to sell them, yeah? Right? And then a couple of days, 3 weeks later, you haven't got a defender in. Everyone's going mad, yeah? Taken 3 weeks. 3 weeks for everyone to go mad, Tottenham fans to go mad, yeah, right? And I said, well, I'm not going mad. I'm not going mad. Why am I going mad for? I told you when I'm going to back this. I told you when I'm going to back this, yeah. And everyone knows when I'm going to back this, yeah. I don't want to remind yourselves because you know it on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV. If you really want to know, you know what I mean. But that's what I'm saying. Now the preseason's been an absolute joke. And by the way, I was told after West Ham, oh, wonderful football, absolutely fantastic football. Oh my gosh, I've never seen such fantastic football in my life. I'm like, it's only preseason. Even Postecoglou said it himself, it's only exercise for them. Then we saw what happened at Leicester. Got postponed. Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, do a preseason game in monsoon season. That's very sensible, isn't it? Yeah. Then we play a bunch of nobodies, Yeah. Oh, we're looking good. Oh my gosh, Richarlison's jumping up and down because he scored a hat trick against a bunch of nobodies and everything else. I'm like, again, going over the top again. But this is predictable. Predictable. Yeah. By the way, I've had this for 4 years. Yeah. By the way, since Pochettino got sacked, so I know how my Tottenham fans act every single week. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised by this shambles right now. Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. You know what I mean? But I've kept my counsel quiet because, like I said before, yeah, when he has a bad run of how many games with no wins, we'll see when the chicken comes home to roost. The chickens comes home to roost because you know what happens every single time. Yeah, and all I hear from Tottenham fans is saying, "Oh, you need to back it. Oh, you need to. We need to back him regardless." I said, "What has it got to do with me? What's it got to do with me? You said this is 4 years. So if he has a bad run, you stick with him. You stick with Scott Munn, the guy that you employed, who's still not here, by the way. Yeah, you stick with Scott. You stick with Scott Mann's man. Yeah, you say to the fans, no, you're not going nowhere. He's sticking with us regardless. As long as he doesn't get relegated, we're sticking with him. Like Arsenal did with Arteta. Yeah, that's when Mr. Box Officer will say, I acknowledge you. I will shut up now. That's it. Yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all. Yeah, and I know what's going to happen against Shakhtar. We beat them 6-0 or beat them. Oh, we're fantastic. Oh, we're on the run. We're going to be top 4. Not that it's a trophy. What do I need to say? That's all I need to say. Back to you, Mahri. I'm done.
I couldn't say any better than myself. Within these last game against Lion City, we've had our owner who put his ownership in a trust get indicted for charges. We've had the rumor mill, and people they've heard me say till the ink dries. I'm not believing we signed anybody yet. We were going to get Kessie. Kessie looked like he's going to the Middle East. So until the ink dries and they hold the shirt, I'm not giving any opinion on his signing. So I'll leave it at that. But no, the preseason games, it's atrocious because we played West Ham's B team. We played a pub team. And all right, maybe playing some quality on Sunday against Dinesh. But then Barcelona will only be the game that has been serious because everybody else, Chelsea's playing Barcelona. Arsenal's playing Barcelona. Real Madrid is playing Newcastle, and so on. They're getting some work in, and we'll get to the transfer. We'll get to that next subject. We haven't got our center backs in to mesh with that new goalkeeper, but like I said, we'll get to that. But preseason games to recap, we have none. So TJ, recap Arsenal's games because we have none.
Well, I'll tell you, Mahri, and I'll have Stefan tag in here too. Is that the Barcelona, right? Manchester United, MLS All Stars, Monaco. I'll tell you what, they are no Lion City Sailors. Okay, they can't add up to the second place in the Singaporean Premier League. Lion City Sailors. Congratulations on winning the Tony the Tiger Cup. You'll never sing that. Everybody give it up for him.
Hey.
People are bigging that up. People are bigging that up too. In the Spurs fan base. Oh, we won this cup, whatever. Like, yeah, and I'm saying, yeah, see, exactly. Look at how happy Emerson is. Look at how happy he is. He's so happy.
No, he's so happy that he's so happy that he actually scored. He scored more than one goal.
Yeah. Whereas you look at, I should have pulled this up, and I'll get a photo of it, Mahri, and maybe if you're on there, you can look. You look at Odegaard, him throwing up that stupid Emirates Cup over his head. He wasn't smiling. They know they have a freaking job to do. So I will give them that. They played like garbage yesterday. Garbage. Awful against Monaco. Awful against out of Europe French side, Monaco. And me and my friends on the YouTube community are holding their feet to the fire. And I'll tell you what, and Stefan, we're going to get into this, but I am very worried about Arsenal coming into the season. I'm very worried about Arsenal going into our game against Man City because we are playing another giant in the Community Shield coming up. And I don't know about you, but I'm taking that seriously. If we beat Man City, that sets the tone for the rest of the season. I said this last week. I've been saying this on a couple of streams, so sorry if it feels like I'm repeating myself. I am. Arsenal have been Jekyll and Hyde throughout this preseason. We played very well against Barcelona. We saw some weak spots. We're still getting countered. The counter is still an issue with us. We give the ball away in the midfield, and we're dead in the back. So I'm getting a little worried about that. Shaky giveaways from Odegaard and Gabriel are prime examples of that in both the Man City and Barcelona games, respectively, right? But we are seeing some good things. We are seeing, for instance, we saw Arteta throw the kitchen sink at Barcelona. The attack, we scored 5 goals against Barcelona, and that was not a bad Barcelona side, by the way. People are going to say, "Hey, TJ, that was Barcelona's B team." No, it wasn't. Koundé played. Ter Stegen played. What are you talking about? Lewandowski played. Lewandowski scored.
He scored. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's Jekyll and Hyde. I'm not getting too gassed. The injuries worry me the most, Mahri, and I'm sure we're going to get into that in the predictions. But yeah, man, I'm when it comes to Arsenal's preseason performances. What do you think, Stefan?
Personally, yeah, I mean, TJ, you're always the more kind of, I would say, the more realistic, down to earth fan. Like, I'm gonna take a little bit more of an optimistic view. For me, although you are completely right that they were extremely inconsistent, like against Barcelona, that 5-3 really flattered them. Like, we could have easily scored 6 or 7 goals in that game, and their goals were, I mean, the free kick was a joke, and for me, the Barcelona game was probably the only preseason game. I'm not going to count the MLS All-Stars because, let's be honest, that was a joke. Like, it was like, even like, I mean, they looked like they had, first of all, they looked like they didn't care, the players for the MLS All-Stars, and they had.
I will say this: it would have been better to play.
Yeah, for sure, of course. But I'm just
no.
For sure, and the Man United game, I think the Man United game really flattered Man United in a way, because the way they played, all this hype that I hear about Man United, they're basically a Mourinho 2.0 side with better players, because that's how he plays tonight, which is pretty much counter-attacking football. And for the first 30 minutes, we were easily the better team. After they scored, we kind of lost our way. So for me, why I'm excited, going back to what TJ's, and I'll just give a different take, is I'm excited is because last season, the main criticism that we had of Arteta is that he never rotated. He always had the same 11. It was the same thing, no matter what, consistency. The reason why I kind of like it now is in preseason, he's become the polar opposite, which is he's trying new formations. He's trying players in different positions. He's playing Timber at left back. Our defense has been changed at least 7, 8. There's been at least 4 or 5 different combinations. So for me, the inconsistency is partly due to that. Then, of course, we also lost a key part of our midfield in Granit Xhaka, and Kai Havertz hasn't played in midfield for 3 years. So that's going to take some time to actually get used to. Am I worried? Yes. But do I think that maybe, I'm hoping optimistically, that we're a bit like Man City, which is Man City, if you watch them every single season, they start slow and then they cook right around February, March time, when it's the big time, pretty much, when you're supposed to win trophies. And I hope Arsenal can do that. And I'm hoping that the game against Monaco, I think they looked a bit flat. Arteta said after the press conference that he really worked them hard fitness-wise. So maybe that was one of a factor. And two, I think they also had, although it's not an excuse, they had the Man City game in the back of their mind. They were careful, and I think that was also another reason for them to kind of play a little bit more kind of with the handbrake. But I am optimistic. I thought we had a very good preseason in terms of prep wise, because the US has, the perfect facilities to actually do that. So for me, I'm looking forward to see us against Man City, because I also watched Man City, a few of their preseason games, and they were also quite disjointed, and defensively they also looked suspect in their game. So they don't look like the finished kind of machine that they were in April and May. So let's see. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic for the game.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's one of those things. And just one last point, Mari, and then I'm sure we're gonna get into this too. Is just what scares me about how Arteta is training these guys is the amount of injuries that we're seeing. Rice had to sit out due to injury. Obviously, he played, but he's still. I'm giving Rice some slack because he's still getting molded into the team, right? He's not gonna be perfect right away, but Jesus worries me. Reece Nelson out worries me. Zinchenko continuing to be out worries me. You know what I mean? What are these guys doing? You know what I mean? What are these guys training on that we're getting injured like in the preseason this often? Do you think do you think Arteta maybe needs to ramp it down a little bit?
No, TJ, with the injury specifically, like I've had that. Like I've had a knee surgery prior, and sometimes after, if you have a knee surgery, because of the actual scar tissue that's formed from the original injury, sometimes they need to go in again. So I think if it's that, it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to come back and actually train again. So for him, I'm pretty sure he'll come back. And from a very credible source, I don't know if you follow him. Whenever he does some sort of exclusive, he's quite accurate. LeGrove, have you heard of that page? He has like 100,000 followers. He's one of the earliest Arsenal bloggers. He basically said that his source is telling him that Jesus is out for 2 to 3 weeks maximum. So it was a very minor procedure, and Zinchenko also should be back in training next week, and he'll probably miss the Nottingham Forest game, but him and Jesus are expected to be back for the second game of the season. And Reece Nelson, everybody knows Reece Nelson. It's not an injury; it's a flesh wound. It's a laceration. So that's just bad luck. That's not an injury. That usually takes 2 to 3. So he should be back very soon, Reece. So for me, I really don't think it's down to the preseason. For Zinchenko, he's had these injury issues not only at Arsenal. He's also, if you looked at his injury record at Man City, it's not very good.
Yeah.
And it's always with that one muscle, the calf muscle for him. If you look at his injuries at Man City, most of them were his calf. So that's kind of his weak point. And at Arsenal, it's been that same muscle. So we have to take into account. But you know what? We signed Timber, man, and Timber looked awesome at left back. I actually think Timber, out of all our signings, easily has looked the best. And he went from right back to left back, and he was really good against Monaco. He was really good against Barcelona, and he was one of the few players that was really good against Man United. So for me, it's I think it's just bad luck with
injuries.
With Jesus.
Yeah. Let's move. Let's keep it going, Mari. Let's keep it going.
So let's look into signings. Box office brought up the signings. The news that have come out this week. Let me give you a recap. First, it looks like, according to Fabrizio, we are close. And mind you, he said this for the last 5 weeks. We're close to getting. I tell you, till the ink dries, until they hold the shirt.
Mari, it's different now. It's different though. It says final stages of negotiations. Before he just said that they're advancing. Now it's final stages.
Final stages. I don't know which one's more closer, advanced or final stages.
I've been in the final stages of trying to get Holly Berry to go on a date with me for about 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I don't know.
You say it's not going to happen.
advance or final stages or knock on the doorbell. I don't the final ink dry, but Van de Ven supposedly to Soba, who I prefer more, to come in. Phillips, that deal that's collapsed is not alive. We're waiting till Friday, so the release clause could be 2 million. Is supposedly, and like I said, also supposedly. And then the one that out of all the signings that I like is the Velez deal. For some of you who don't know, I watch a lot of combo football, a lot of Argentinian football, extraordinaire, all things Argentina. Boca, big draw yesterday, the Copa Libertadores, I need to mention. But Velez, I think it's a good young signing at the age of 19. Perfect. Would rather have to send it back, sign in first, but apparently it looks like that's going to go down. We've agreed to personal terms. So there's a lot of what if, coulda, shoulda. It's going to happen, but there's no confirmation. And the thing is, it's it's where how many times can I say this? We're interested FC, Modern FC, agreed to personal terms FC, we're linked FC. Now comes we have to make some concrete signings. You've seen the face of Ange. He's already has that face of like, oh man, all right, we may score some goals, but we are going to get pumped. So Alex, this week we've been hearing a lot of talk. We're at advanced stages with everyone. What is your opinion of this week's supposedly big week?
To be honest with you, I've not paid attention to it. To be honest with you, because like I said, I'm old school. I don't care. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't enjoy transfer windows anymore. I used to when I was a kid, but now it's ridiculous. You're gonna make a bid. I mean, I've never heard such absolute waffle in my whole entire life. Honestly, it's
Your
just
boy.
laughable and comical. There's so many people in the nose now. I just think, oh, for goodness sake, honestly, just put a sock in it. Honestly, it's just honestly so boring. No, I'm serious because it just gets to a point where I just want the season to start and just get back to the football. Yeah,
Guys, so
because
sorry to
honest,
interrupt. Sorry to major transfer news. Another one of your center back targets that I remember reading, Roger Ibanez from Roma, is close to an agreement with Nottingham Forest for 25 million.
oh great.
Sorry, Alex.
I just don't care anymore. Like I said, it's like Van de Ven is only look. Listen, I was having an argument on the stream. Big up to them, by the way, because I'm not having a go at them, but it's just like, oh, he's just a prospect. He's literally just a prospect. Yeah, he looks good. He does what Postecoglou wants. Yes, but I need to see him. I need to see him in a Tottenham shirt and need to see it consistently in a Tottenham shirt. I've seen it all before. Oh, this player's this player. Oh, he's great. Oh, he's this, he's that. Until he's working well, and this is the point. If it was that great, if he's that good, if we needed him that badly, we should have got him in pre-season, so he was ready for the pre-season games. By the way, but we didn't do that. So this is the thing. This Van de Ven, I think, again, with Tottenham Fox, with the gift that keeps on giving the fans, they say, oh, this guy's so good. He's the next for Tongan. I'm like, right, okay, putting a lot of pressure on the guy. You know what I mean? When he's only had one season in the Bundesliga. One season, yeah. I've seen some games, and he looks good. He looks okay. But again, he needs time. You know what I mean? Like the whole team need time.
Here's the question, Alex. The biggest beef you said in regards to Romero, right? All right, bring Van de Ven in, right? I don't think we're getting both. To be honest, it's either one or the other. Everybody says you want to put a calming presence. You want to put someone almost like a veteran next to Romero. I mean, it's not only you're not bringing this guy in early if we are able to bring him in, but you don't even give him time to mesh with Romero. I mean, more evidence of incompetence with this club.
Well, it doesn't. It's about chemistry. It's about chemistry at the end of the day. And I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know. I think that I had said that we needed somebody who's going to, complement Romero because he is going to be our centre back. I don't think he's that great, to be honest with Romero. I do agree with certain people that they've said what they said. I think some people do go over the top about it, but I think I went over the top when because I did say, and I did apologise to you, Mahri, at the time, and there was somebody else as well I apologised to, even though I didn't speak to them because we went on one show, and you know who we were talking about here, and you were bigging up Romero. Yeah, first time I saw him on the pitch, he bantered Lukaku out the building, and he bantered a lot of people out the building that season. Yeah, so I sat there and thought, well, I've seen it myself. So I've seen it when I'm at the stadium, not on TV, at the stadium, and watched this guy banter people out the building. Yeah, didn't see them at all. Yeah, right, didn't see them at all because he literally bantered them out the building. But last season, he got found out. He got found out. Yeah, we can
He
make
got
excuses
frustrated.
that
And
He
and
got
and
found out.
And he was,
found out
and he was
big
your best
time.
center back.
and
Arguably.
he
And he's
and,
not
and
the best centre back. He's not the best centre back. I've got to be honest. He's not. He's not. And he does need somebody to partner him. But I will say this though. Um, what I will say though, and I'm sorry. If you're gonna ask me to rate transfer windows, I only do it because you asked me because I don't rate transfer windows, and do not hold me to that because I don't rate transfer windows. I only watch when I watch it on the pitch. But we need we need minimum two centre backs. Yeah. And the players that we've been linked with, that we've been bigging up, going on about so much, if Tat Sober and Van der Ven are defenders, go and get them. You know what I mean? Because if Romero goes back to, trying to foul people, doing what he's doing, this shit housery, this beep housery and everything else, yeah, I don't want him in the team. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'll even take three of them because I mean, to be honest, I've read up on this tossing. To be honest, I don't really mind him. You know what I mean? But I think they're gonna take. I think it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time because if you're gonna say you're gonna do it like Brighton, yeah, Brighton gave Graham Potter time, yeah, when he was finishing below mid-table every season, yeah, just finishing above relegation, yeah.
Bro,
So for me,
Alex,
you got to do that with
if we're
those centre backs, and that's it. And I'll be
speaking
happy
of
with that.
Brighton,
But at least, as long as the board know this is going to take time, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But they are better than the centre backs we have got. Yes, we
are
have.
they?
Alex, I have,
Yes,
a,
they
I
are.
have a question for
I
Alex.
will say this, and I'll say this: if we were like Brighton in the position that we're in, right, and we have Gabini, who's the Italian, and supposedly, what's his name, is still lurking around.
Scolding.
Brad-
Oh, okay.
Then
Yeah.
what you need to be doing is get on the phone with Atalanta and calling for the 19-year-old Scaldini. Call this guy up, get him while he's still cheap, because he's not gonna last it. You go call my club in South America, Boca Juniors, and you get Barco for the left back, right? If we want to be a young and get some quality talent for that defense, rather than still being interested in Langley, who now it seems like he may be going to the Middle East and so forth, right? If you don't want to pay that price for Tapsova or
No, Mahri, no. They're offering him to the Middle East, but Langley said, I don't want to go to the Middle East. I want to join Spurs instead.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell to the no.
Why would you not take the money and run?
God, go play for
TJ, man, I completely agree with Clement Langley. He should join Spurs. I encourage him to actually join Spurs. He's a great defender. Perfect for Spurs.
Hey, no. Real quick. I had a question for Mr. Box Office. Alex,
Let me read
Alex,
this
Alex,
quick.
do you think
Big up to Tim, man. What makes me laugh is at the end of the season, not many fans have heard of Tapsoba, VDB, or that kid from Argentina. Now they're all scouts. You are right. I have seen the kid from Argentina play. He's good. But yes, you are right, Tim, man. You are right. Go ahead. What was that question?
Yeah, do you think Ramiro could do just would his game would elevate if he wasn't next to, like Sanchez and Dyer? Do you think
well,
he's a
yeah,
product of
100%.
the
I think he
dross
needs.
that's around him?
I think he needs a leader, a Rio Ferdinand type, John Terry type person next to him to say, do not mess about, mate. Because if you do mess about, you're out the team. You know what I mean? I'll tell the manager not to be out the team. Yeah, some no nonsense person. Yeah, who's got trophies next to him and say, well, mate, if you want to be like me, yeah, you got to listen to me. You know what I mean? Just give him a bit of leadership. But I will say this though, I do agree with Sava. That he has been crap. He's been rubbish. He's been absolutely rubbish. And for me, you do need two other defenders because the problem with Tottenham at the moment, there is no chemistry in the team. There is no partnerships. You know what I mean?
But Alex,
and I think we've not had that since Alderweireld and Vertonghen.
But Alex,
his
isn't
partner.
that the major issue, guys? That you paid 50 million for a luxury player, because the way you make him sound is he needs to be accommodated for when you played big bucks for a center back.
Well, Stefan, this is where it gets to planning, right? We signed him, but we didn't have a plan to have a partnership like we had with Jan and Toby. And this is all the fault of Levy in the sense of planning, right? He got Ramiro and then got nobody else after him, which was almost criminal for the next 3 seasons. He didn't get anybody. We were linked with Pau Torres, right? Pau Torres went to Aston Villa, right?
Yeah.
The perfect. I've showed this a couple of times, right? Cats and dogs, right? We know Ramiro is a dog. Torres is a cat, right? At Argentina, he has Acuna, right?
Yeah,
Wonderful partnership with Acuna to his right, and then he has either Otamendi or Martinez left him. At Atalanta, it was the same thing. Even at Copa America, because I tell people his best performance was at the World Cup. His best performance was at Copa America, where he got rave reviews. The Brazilians will tell you, Argentina does not win without Ramiro. So yes, you're right. He has to be catered. But here's the thing: you got him, right? He was a big money signing. You have to give him a decent partner. You have to. If you got him in the first place, you have to get a decent partner for him, right?
There was no plan. There was no plan for him.
No plan.
Okay, I agree. But I just want to say this. How should I say this? Hot tournament thing that you always keep on about. I can tell you that when Croatia reached the final, Domagoj Vida played like Virgil van Dijk in that tournament. Does anybody talk about him as being an amazing defender because he had one, in my opinion, a better tournament than Romero because he reached the final? He was the key piece of Croatia reaching the final of the World Cup. The problem for me, which I noticed with Spurs fans, is that they big up this guy. Like, I remember there was even a point last season where they were saying that they would rather have him than Saliba, than they would rather have him than some of the other defenders. Which
I was
if you watch him,
really, that was before. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, no. I'm talking about after, when we played in January, February. People were doing combined 11s and a number, and I think the most popular Spurs channel. We are talking TV. Yeah, combined 11 in January 2023 when we played at White Hart Lane and beat you 2-0.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Oh no, we are talking TV and their combined 11 chose Romero over Saliba. So this is the problem.
They won't be honest. They wouldn't be honest. They weren't.
Okay, just forget. Maybe it's their opinion, but forget that. But the problem you guys have is that you take players, and Alex has always said this, and I'll give him credit. You overhyped them for 1 or 2 good performances. Like, I remember people after that 3-month period where you got top 4, people were saying that he was world class. How would be just for 3 good months? And in those 3 months, by the way, he committed a number of mistakes which lost you games. I remember the Brighton game at home when Trossard scored in the last minute. It was his mistake. I remember the Burnley game when Burnley scored that free kick in Burnley. He made the mistake. He lost the header. So he's a defender. This is why I always say in our group chat that your scouting is a complete joke. Like, for example, Van de Ven, if you watch Wolfsburg, he's not even their best defender. It's Lacroix. Lacroix is a better defender than him.
Lacroix for a while. Lacroix is solid.
Yeah,
Not
but
great.
he's still better than Van de Ven, and he has 2 or 3 years. The guy has 1 year in the Bundesliga where if you do the Wool
Van
method,
young.
which is,
Van de Ven is young, but to the point in regards to a partner for Romero, we need someone older. So there's no plan. There's no plan.
I will say this though. I will say this, and by the way, Stefan, yeah, and I'm sorry to say this, yeah, you're lucky to even have Saliba in the building. Let's be honest here, because you've been you've been what is it? You've been lucky, yeah, because the way that you treated him for the first how many years, yeah, shipped him on loan, and that guy literally was just out the door,
ready,
literally
Alex.
out
Yes
the
and
door.
no. Yes and no.
Literally
Yes and
out
no, yeah.
the door. And
wasn't
literally, just because he ended
He
up
wouldn't have gotten
staying.
French Defender of the Year if he wasn't in France.
Well,
No,
that- well,
and he wouldn't have gotten 44 games in a row playing for a big team like Marseille, playing in the Europa League, getting all that experience and only experience confidence, because that's
yeah, but he
key.
wanted to stay. He wanted to stay at Marseille.
Why
though,
did he
didn't
just sign a contract?
I want a lot of things too, Alex.
He wanted to stay at Marseille, though. He wanted to stay at Marseille. Just admit it. He wanted to stay at Marseille.
but now he's at Big Arsenal, and we're gonna do the double over you again.
Yeah.
So
We'll
what's
see. We'll
happening?
see. Yeah, but
What are we
like I
talking
said,
about,
you're
Alex?
lucky.
What are we talking
You-
about?
you're-
Yes. It's obviously he wanted to join Marseille.
He
back
wanted
then,
to
and
stay
then
at
he gets second
Marseille,
place,
and
and then he
luckily,
signs an extension with us. What are you
wait,
talking
wait.
about?
No. Yeah, but he signed a contract. He signed the contract. Yes, but he got lucky. You got lucky. You got lucky because the main event's still speaking,
wait.
making himself known, because he's making himself known to some of these Arsenal fans, just to make
Alex,
you show, just to show you what you
Alex,
got on your show. By the way, yeah, you got lucky with Saliba, because Saliba was sitting there thinking, you know what, I'm just getting treated really badly at the moment here by Arsenal, and I've done actually not that bad, by the way, because I've got my boy what is his name, Ben White and Holding still at my club, yeah, and I'm betting them all day long, yeah, bruv. You know what I mean?
Ben White.
And now last
one of the
season,
best
I'm now
right-backs in the
the
league.
best defender going, bruv. You know what I mean? So you have been lucky with Saliba. You got lucky with him, bruv.
No, we didn't.
Yeah?
We paid
You got
30
lucky.
We paid 30
and
million.
that's all
for
I'm saying.
18
That's it. So I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want about Romero, and I agree with you about Romero, but you got lucky.
No, but here
With Saliba, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, and that's it. We're in the pieces of this Arsenal fans, and that's it. Back to you, Mahri. I'm absolutely done.
Okay, Alex, can I respond? Spurs had the same situation, if I remember, after Son's first season. You guys wanted to sell him, remember? He was about to leave. But you kept him on. Pochettino convinced him to actually stay. And look at him now. Saliba thought he was, let's be honest, he even said it in interviews. He thought he was big balls when he first came to Arsenal. For that money, he thought he was guaranteed at the age of 18, 19. Yes, we had crap defenders like Mustafi, Holding, Socrates. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it is documented that even Saliba admitted that when he first started training at Arsenal, he knew he wasn't fit enough or ready. So he needed more game time. And the other reason was the final 6 months of his 1 year, because we signed him and then we signed him for the next year. The first year loan, it was the pandemic. So he didn't play for like 7-8 months. So he was nowhere near ready or fit or even mentally ready. Do I think Arsenal, maybe Arteta was a bit too harsh with him, sending him on these numerous loans? Yes, we screwed up. I remember 2 or 3 years ago where he was supposed to go on loan, I think at the end of the summer window, and we canceled the loan, or we didn't do the paperwork or something, and he had to stay and play for the under-23s. I totally feel you. But you know what? He signed a new deal now. The actual
ties... So I'm saying you're lucky. You got lucky.
He's not
you
lucky.
got very lucky.
You paid 30 million.
You got lucky. And also, because I'm on contradictory at the moment, Bob. I'm on it right now, Bob. Wow. Yeah. Let's talk about Jesus. The reject from Man City, yeah? Let's
The
talk
reject-
about Jesus.
The reject.
Yeah, the
from Man
reject from
City.
Man
Oh, you mean the
City.
Premier
Because
League
I was
champion
told,
from Man City?
I was
Yeah,
told,
who
oh, he's the
played
best
pretty much
since
all
sliced
the
bread. He's
Premier
this,
League
he's this,
games.
he's that, he's this. What is he doing now, bruv? What is he doing now, bruv?
He
I'd
scored.
rather have a Charleston in my team, bruv. That's all I'm saying, bruv.
Would
All I'm
rather
saying,
have
bruv.
Richarlison than Jesus.
Oh, I'd rather have
Now
a
it's
Charleston in my
okay.
team, bruv.
Oh,
That's all I'm
no.
saying, bruv,
Oh,
yeah?
no.
Breaking
Yeah?
news.
That's the
We
most.
are
That's
well
it, yeah,
advanced.
Go ahead, Mahri.
We are well advanced and in the final stages. I don't know what that means, but we're well advanced.
That means I'm about to finally get my date with Halle Berry. Hold on. I'm going back to what
No,
box office just
TJ,
said. That was ridiculous.
they're gonna sign him. They're gonna sign him, and just watch Spurs fans say he's like the next Gabriel Batistuta or some bullshit, and you end up like what? Yeah, and you end up
I would
like
rather
like
have-
1/4.
I want that
I just-
framed. I'm gonna print out.
I just want to say,
Go ahead.
Phil, if you guys want a really good kind of unbiased take on him, watch Phil Vickery, who's a South American expert on
I saw
Sky.
that video.
Yeah,
Oh,
he gave a really honest, and he's a Spurs
I'm
fan,
gonna
by the way.
shoot him for dinner. I have a reaction video for the channel to Victory because there is a couple of things that he's not being honest, being honest about. But continue
Hold
on.
on.
I saw that
Hold on.
video.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm taking over. I am technically the co-host. I'm taking this over just a little bit. I'm going to get a screenshot of that stupid grin on your face, Alex. And I'm going to say, I think Richarlison is better than Jesus. Okay. Good Lord. You know who scored more goals than Richarlison last season? Ben White. He plays right back for Arsenal. Right back.
No,
You know you're taking the piss. You know you are absolutely taking the piss on this one because Jesus is 10 times the number 9 that Richarlison could ever hope to be. You could say what you want about his injury record. Yeah, it sucks. He has knee problems. It's not ideal. Do we need a number 9? Yes. But I would take it. I would take Eddie Nketiah over Richarlison any day of the week.
100%.
Any day of the week. And I don't like or rate Nketiah.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You're getting clipped, TJ. You're getting clipped, TJ, bruv. I can't believe you just said that, bruv. You put your back in for Nketiah, who's a second-rate striker. I could be a better rate striker than Nketiah all day long, bruv. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Say it again, bruv. Say it again with any oomph by it. Say it again with oomph, bruv. Say it again with oomph.
Whatever the hell their name is.
Say it again with oomph. Nketiah is better than Richarlison. Say it again, bruv. Like I can believe you, like all day long.
It's not hard. Look at the stats.
Yeah, no. Forget that. Emil Smith Rowe missed 6 months of the season and still scored more goals than fucking Richarlison, man. So please don't Richarlison took off his shirt and was offside more than he actually scored goal. Like he scored a goal and then got disallowed more than he actually
yellow card
scored.
ratio going to be next season, Alex?
Well, I can't lie.
Because that's the odds I'm taking.
I can't lie. What Stefan says about the offside. Yeah, but okay. I'll give Stefan that. Yeah, because I've said it already. So I've said it on my show, Mr. Box Office TV. By the way, if you don't know, get to know. And like I said, get me up to 1,000 subscribers and get me some more subscribers as well. Like I said, you know what I mean? Because he got Mr. Box Office Live. That is going to come soon as well. Like I said every single time. But anyway, but like I said, Stefan is absolutely spot on what he says. I've seen Richarlison be upside so many times. I mean, I might as well be on a date how many times, you know, the amount of times that I've seen him offside. You know what I mean? Honestly, he's so useless. He's honestly the most useless player going. Yeah, and maybe I was being a bit tongue in cheek what I said there a little bit because to be honest, he's absolutely useless. But let's be honest here. I would take the fact, get rid of Harry Kane and put Richarlison up front because for some reason or another, by default, he works better than Harry Kane right now in our system. Don't know how to say it, but this is how it is.
How does he work better? Can someone explain to me how he works better?
He does.
Than Harry Kane
does.
Okay, and at 52 minutes, into the stream, Alex's YouTube career just ended.
No way. No.
Look, Harry Kane could run 3 kilometers per game. Like he could not even press, and he would still be more useful and still score more goals than Richarlison.
I'm agreeing with the Arsenal fan. I'm agreeing with Stefan. Yeah, there's he scored against Lion City. Like these are carpenters and janitors.
And celebrated as if he had won the Champions League. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
Yeah,
I agree with you, but unfortunately, he works better in the system than Harry Kane. Unfortunately, he does. Unfortunately, Harry Kane, he needs to go. He needs to move. The only time Tottenham are going to actually move on completely from the new era is getting rid of Harry Kane. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got to that point.
I agree.
I mean, I agree
Absolutely.
too.
So, I'll take an up and coming striker that can, run, be on the last defender. That's what we need at the moment. Not somebody that's going to keep on going back and try and create. We've got Madison for that.
We have we have this guy Eddie Nketiah. He's up and coming. You can have him if you want.
Yeah, 35
No,
million.
that's your striker.
40 million.
That's your
We'll go
reject
with
striker.
Balogun. It's okay.
No, that's your reject striker, bruv. I don't want your reject striker. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? You got 2 reject strikers already. By the way, how much wages does Nketiah got? By the way, oh my gosh, how muggy are you looking right now, bruv? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Wait.
Number 9 and the whole Raya deal. Box office. If they get David Raya for less than 30 mil,
we're not.
We're not going to.
We're not.
That's going to be humiliating.
It'll be 30. It'll be 35 and over the.
No. I think it'll be 32, 33.
Okay.
I don't think we'll go as high as 35. I really don't. I think Brentford will fold because it's too much money to.
And he wants to leave. He doesn't.
And this is what I read. Like, if we make a bid, that player is 100% set on Arsenal, just like the other players we signed.
Personal terms already agreed.
Do you guys need another?
It's a matter of time.
What, Mahri?
Do you guys? Is there any more signings in your pipeline?
We need 9.
I would love us for us to sell. Of course, I would like us to keep either Balogun or Nketiah. I don't mind if we sell either of them. So let's say sell one of them for 35-40 million, which is looking more likely like Balogun, and sign a left-footed right winger so we can replace Saka fully. And the guy from Ajax, Mohamed Kudus, for me is perfect because he's exactly what Arteta loves, which is someone who's really versatile, who's very physical. And yeah, if we sign, even if we don't sign a right winger, it's still not the end of the road because I think we have plenty of options. We just don't have a direct like for like. I mean, there's very few wingers in the world that are like for like with Saka, but someone has a similar playing style and is, left-footed on the right wing. But if we sign Kudus, like, I've never given a 10 out of 10 for a transfer window, but if we sign David Raya and Kudus and manage to sell some players, like manage to get rid of Holding, that is, if Arsenal fans complain after that, I have no hope for them. I'm serious. Like, it's a joke.
We need to I would be okay with all of that as long as we move out some of the players in this club that we know are not going to play. Holding, Tavares, Lukonga. Yeah,
Nuno
Cedric.
Tavares.
What are we doing with Cedric?
We're gonna. You know what's gonna happen, TJ. We're gonna try and sell him. He's on 100. Whoever did that deal, Raul Sanllehi should be publicly humiliated for it. He signed $100K deal, Cedric, to a 4-year deal. Like who's gonna even pay a fee because they know we're gonna cancel his contract.
I mean, it's gonna be
Nicolas
the same
Pepe. I have a small hope that the Turkish clubs might give us a small fee because let's be honest, we just want to get rid of his. I think he's on 160K a week or something. So we need to get rid of him also. So yeah, as long as we get rid of them, and we sign David Raya, for me is it's too much of a luxury. Like, what are we doing? Why are we signing don't get me wrong, I love the ruthlessness. I love it. It's very Ferguson-like, but he's kind of milking it now a little bit. Like Ramsdale, don't get me wrong, he was bad in the preseason, but for you to immediately react and sign David Raya, I mean, Okay, let's hope that we get a fee for Matt Turner. I'm hoping, because in my opinion, he's really underrated. I've watched him for the US. I think he's potentially at a club which suits his style. I think he could be a really good keeper. I think we should be able to get for the US number one. I think at least 15, 20 million. I think we should be able to get
a lot. I think that's going to be a lot, and I don't think the only interested team that I know about is Forest.
Nottingham.
They're going to pay, and I don't think they're going to pay that much. Honestly, all I hope for Matt Turner is he's honestly not going to get a sniff in this team. He's not. So move him on as an American supporter. Move him on to somewhere else where he'll actually get first team minutes and he'll actually get a career. Like, good. I hope he gets the move that he wants, so he gets the experience that he wants.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
I think he has the potential to be a very good.
I think honestly, TJ, I think he's perfect for like a Crystal Palace or a Nottingham Forest. I think he's perfect for those type of teams where he's not expected to play with the ball at his feet too much. He's just a pure goalkeeper, like a shot stopper, just what he does best. Because in the US, I mean, the World Cup, he was sensational for the US.
Yep.
Against Netherlands, he was ridiculous. He was ridiculous in those games. Like, he could have easily been named goalie of the
hat trick if it wasn't for Turner.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. Yeah. And if you watch his clips from the US, if you speak to anybody, including TJ, probably watched the MLS, they were like, he was easily the best player in the whole of the MLS. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And as a goalkeeper.
It was him, Almiron, quality players that could play.
I just think, going back to the David Raya thing, I think I am not upset with a 1A, 1B situation. I'm not.
It's not going to work though, TJ. You know that. We're going to sell one of them because it's never worked. You look at Petr Cech, Baron Leno. You look at
Barcelona. It worked with Barcelona, but they
didn't have the team in front of them that we have now, though, Stefan.
Barcelona wasn't the same because they signed a really experienced keeper in
and
Bravo. And Bravo.
Yeah.
Yes, but wait, that's not a good example because Bravo left 2 or 3 years after that to Man City. So
Mahri, will you highlight C Cube's last comment, please?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick, just so I can read it on the screen and everybody else can see it too. Thank you, C Cubed. I agree. Yeah, I think we are going to sign the number one goalkeeping target that they first wanted. Man United wanted him too, and now we want him as our number one. And he wants to come here. Personal terms are agreed. Is it a luxury, Stefan? In terms of how bad we need a number 9? Yes, it is a luxury.
It's not
but it's a luxury if they are willing to pay the money and get it done. I'm willing to take that luxury because then you have a legitimate 1A, 1B at
TJ, I even read a ridiculous, another really good blog. His name is Mike McDonald. He has a site called Gunners Town. He does a lot of tactical analysis. If you guys want to read up, if anybody's an Arsenal fan, he suggested that Arteta is so bold with this that he might actually substitute the keepers during the game, so then we can change our actual tactics, which I think is too far-fetched. But knowing Arteta and how much he wants to have some sort of his whole premise this preseason, I've realized, and why we've looked sometimes disjointed, sometimes good, is to be unpredictable. So if we get David Raya, who, if you look at him as pure stats-wise last season, he was the 3rd best goalkeeper, I think, in the Prem in terms of saving expected goals and stuff. His kicking, even though Ramsdale's kicking is really good, he's probably, apart from Ederson, I think he's probably the best kicking goal, in terms of ball at his feet goalkeeper in the league, especially long-range kicking. His long-range kicking, Klopp, I remember, did an interview 2 or 3 years ago. I think they finished 3-3 Brentford-Liverpool, and he was like, David Raya should have a number 10 on his back because he created the most chances for Brentford. So,
Stefan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Before you ask the question, let me just
go ahead. And then we can move on after the question that I want to ask Stefan. Go ahead.
Mr. Alex,
Hi, Donna.
You be my PR agent. She wants to hire you, but they won't pay you well though. It's Daniel Levy, it's the board.
I'm too expensive for you.
to deal with.
What do you think about and my buddy Connor, my co-host Connor on my channel, he said that a lot of Arsenal fans are having the new shiny toy syndrome. They're saying, "Oh, Raya starts over Ramsdale right away."
Yeah.
I don't agree with that whatsoever.
Same.
Ramsdale is literally, I think he was rated or not rated, but he's one of the most expensive goalkeepers in the world. If he were to be sold. Yeah, that's a ridiculous. No, he doesn't want to leave. Ramsdale loves this club. He loves Arteta. You read the article that was in The Athletic today about Ramsdale and what he went through after the World Cup.
He's tough as nails.
He's tough as nails. He loves the club.
Doesn't give
loves
up.
Arteta. He's not leaving. He's not leaving.
No, and you know what, TJ? If he wants to leave, if we make this transfer, although I would agree, I would be upset if I was him. But if he wants to leave, he's not the right character for Arsenal. Kind of like, remember when Bernd Leno got dropped and he did an interview with one of the German papers and said, even though he was dog shit, like he deserved to get, like I remember the Man City game where we lost, he was poor in that game.
Horrible. And
he was like, I don't know why I actually get dropped. I think I'm the best goalkeeper. That type of attitude, I don't want that, this entitlement. That was the old culture kind of at the end of Wenger's time. So I expect Ramsdale to work harder, to be more focused, because I think that's his weakness as a goalkeeper. I think on his day, Ramsdale is one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and he's shown that in games against Liverpool away. He was sensational. I thought the game that we lost to Man United at Old Trafford, his kicking that game, the way he spread the ball that game was ridiculous. So you can see the potential there, and he's only 25. If he decides I don't want to challenge myself, I don't want to compete with this guy, the only reason why I think it's a really big luxury, TJ, is because the differential between the goalkeepers. Do I think currently David Raya is a bit better? Yes, I do. I think David Raya is slightly better, because if you read
statistically, he's slightly better, but you also have to take into account who he was playing for.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me, is slightly better worth 30 to 35 million for a second keeper. Like for me,
it could make a difference if you play City and you want a good ball playing.
And here's
like Raya against like Arsenal that's set up against City. He may be the key to beating City once or twice, because he's better at the feet than Ramsdale, and so that's almost like a secret weapon to have.
But Ramsdale, we're talking like, but Ramsdale is also really good with the ball at his feet. He's just Raya is,
and everybody's talking like, sorry to interrupt, but everybody's talking like we're gonna bring in Raya and Ramsdale's gonna get all. There is not an unimportant game for Arsenal this season. Let me be 100% clear here. We are coming to win everything. And part of coming to win everything is having a backup goalkeeper with Premier League experience. So when and if we get out of the group stages of the Champions League, we have two options. So somebody can play in the Prem, somebody can play in the round of 16 of the Champions League. It's that simple. We have ambition. This signing shows ambition.
And this is the reason why I was disappointed that we didn't get. I know Vicario was lights out in regards to, saving the ball as a keeper.
I don't know, Mahri. He looks, the games I saw, he looked dodgy as hell, man. Dodgy.
From what I've known and from my friends in Italy, they were like, he's on a better team. Like he did that with Empoli, but the weakness for him, he's not great on the ball. Raya is real good with ball distribution. We haven't had that for years because Lloris is not disaster class with ball distribution. I think that's a real good asset for Arsenal, especially against teams like City, even against Chelsea. Like great ball distribution.
I agree. I think Raya is the only keeper that I have watched. Maybe Ederson from Man City could do it, but I haven't seen him that can literally. I saw Ramsdale did it a few times, but maybe not enough. Last season, I remember his best season where he finished in the top 3 in terms of stats for keepers, Ramsdale, where Raya literally long range kicking. He could kick it long to the wingers and start an attack by passing through all the lines. He's that good at long range kicking. So if we're signing a keeper who has one of his facets in terms of ball distribution, you could argue is better than Ederson, which is his long range kicking. I mean, for me, that's ridiculous because, and you know what the funniest part was? I really rated Matt Turner. I thought Arsenal easily have the best 1 and 2 combo in terms of keepers last year, because if you look at City, their second keeper, I mean, Matt Turner plays for the
Ortega,
US.
I think Ortega is better than Turner.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Man.
What, because Turner as a pure keeper is way better than Ortega in terms of shot stopping, in terms of in terms of that. So I don't know. Like for me, I'm super happy. Like TJ's right. You know what? If we have the chance to sign Raya, I saw Chelsea sign Sanchez. I'm thrilled because I was worried most about them, but that tells me that Raya wants to come to Arsenal. And if we're going to try and sign him, I mean, you know what? And I'm also impressed by David Raya too, man. He could easily go to Bayern Munich and have it easy because Manuel Neuer is going to be out for at least another 2 months. And he could easily start because they're also selling Sommer to Inter. So they're not going to have a number 1 keeper. He could go to one of the biggest clubs in Europe and start for them immediately and make a name for himself, because let's be honest, Neuer's level has dropped significantly in the last few years, one because of injuries and kind of loss of form. So, but he wants to come to Arsenal, and I kind of respect that. I'm still a little, I really have a soft spot for Ramsdale, so that's why I'm a bit kind of. Yeah.
I think we'll hang on to both of them, and we still need a number 9. Go ahead, Mahri.
Yeah. No, because let's go back to it in regards to our predictions. So we'll start with Tottenham, and I mentioned Vicario. Season predictions. So there's a lot of what ifs. Like I said, I hate going by what ifs. So I'll give you 2 scenarios. You have scenario number 1. If we don't sign anybody in, we're still close. And like I said, I know my club. Until the ink dries, this is an ink dry prediction. Not ink dry. If we don't sign anybody else, or even if we get 1 center back, I have us finishing anywhere between. And this is with an improved attack. I just think the defense just has too many holes. Vicario, right? We'll just talk about Vicario, whose distribution is not great, let alone he is going to be around Eric Dyer, Sanchez, because that deal's going to collapse. I don't know if you guys know what's going on in Russia. Sanchez is not keen in going to Russia. So as of now, I can only go as of now, Sanchez is still in our club, Dyer is still in our club, Davies will definitely stay.
Mari, sorry to interrupt, but we should put a special caveat on the prediction. If Kane stays and if he goes, I think we should. I'm gonna get. We should also add that as the prediction, because I think that can sway.
Yeah, so this is my prediction. If Kane stays and everything stays the same, right? Not the ifs. If everything stays the same as of now, I think this club, as good as the offensive attack is going to be better, but the defense is still atrocious. I'm going to be nice and say 9th. I'm going to say 9th.
Wait, with Kane or without Kane?
No, with Kane. Yeah, because that defense is atrocious. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. The first goal of the preseason game, right? Vicario, because of Sanchez, or was it because of Sanchez? Yeah, it was because of Sanchez, right? Passed it back to him. He panicked, kicked the ball out.
No,
right?
that was the second goal, and then from the corner,
they scored.
Yeah.
So that was like, that probably David Raya, that would have maybe been different. Now he made some tremendous saves. But like I said, that was an example where his mistake led to a goal. So I have us finish 9th. Now here comes the what ifs. If we get VDV, Tab Soba.
You're not getting Tab
Um,
Soba.
I'm using ifs. We're bringing Kessie, right? Go all by what ifs, right?
Okay, yeah.
We're bringing Kessie. I see us possibly finishing either anywhere between the Europa League spot and the Conference League spot, which will be 6th.
Europa.
Yes, 6th or 7th.
Who are
And
you
I'm-
gonna wait, Mark? Who, if you finish in Europa or a conference, who are you gonna displace from last year then?
I'll displace Hoiberg. That'll be Kessie.
No, not players. I mean teams in the Prem. Because Villa finished 7th and Brighton.
Well, I have the predictions for the EPL. I think we displace Brighton. I think Brighton handling both is going to be
I agree.
going to be difficult. Though I think Villa is going to handle it better than Brighton. I think Brighton
have a very good squad. They do.
is going to slip, and so that's the team I have. So I'm kind of give you a preview. So I have as the team being the same, 9th, improvements 6th or 7th.
Improvements with Kane staying or with Kane leaving?
Without Kane leaving, because I think the goals are going to spread.
Yeah.
Sonny, Kulu. I would assume
So
we get somebody. We've been linked to a couple of people. The goals are going to spread. So I have us going 6th. Just short of the Champions League spot of 5th.
wow. Okay. So you think you're gonna finish higher without Kane than with Kane? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because we get
That's
the
brave. That's
It
brave.
is brave.
defensive
To
reinforcements.
score all those goals for Charleston.
I actually think you probably score about 5 or 6, which we need.
Oh.
It's got to spread. It's going to have to spread. So
Okay.
that's the scenario, right? That's what if, right? So let me get, because I want to get your response for our team, but let me go to the box office. You could give us 2 predictions, one with Kane, one without Kane, or signings, box office. You have the platform.
I'm just gonna make it straightforward. I'm just doing it regardless, whatever we do. 7th.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I look at this Premier League and I look at the elite, which is only one or two if you're lucky. The good, all right, and I include Arsenal in that. Okay, and then the average and the below average, awful, yeah. And there's a lot of teams that are there, as far as I'm concerned, and that's it. And for me, this is a build season, and that's it for me. So if we get into top 10, that's a miracle as far as I'm concerned, and that's it.
I
I'm
agree.
sorry.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I just
Come on.
I'm sorry. And
Really?
even if we get miraculously get into that Champions League spot because we get 5th,
No.
I ain't celebrating that. Why am I celebrating getting 5th? 5th worst loser. Come on now. Nah. Because we know what Champions League means for Tottenham Hotspur. Day out in Champions League, day out. Going on holiday. Going on a day out somewhere. You know what I mean? Going on a date. Or going for a day trip to Fort Park or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Sorry.
no, but now Alex, it's gonna be different.
So that's my prediction. Either way, not that I care about whether Kane stays or goes, because it doesn't matter what he does anyway, because he hasn't made himself known anyway, like he always does. That's why I call him a loser. So this is the point. So it's like, that's all I'm saying. Just to answer the question, if you want a
7th.
prediction, a spoiler alert, 7th, and that's it. I'm done.
Okay.
Back to you, Mahri. I'm done. If you don't know, get to know.
TJ, do you wanna predict Spurs or should I go?
You go first, and I'll go last.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it in a number of layers. So the first one is with Kane and without Kane. I would say if you keep Kane, I would say at best, if you have a really good season, like you play, I think 6th is your best kind of bet. Without Kane, because Chelsea really struggled when they didn't have a center forward last year. I really think there is a small chance you could finish outside of the actual top 10. If Richarlison is your guy, I think Spurs fans are going to find out why Pep Guardiola called you the Harry Kane team 4 or 5 years ago. And I think Spurs fans, being all this, positivity merchants saying, oh, we're going to spread the goals out. They don't, if you watch how Spurs play, everything goes through Kane. He opens up space for Son. I think Son is really, really going to actually suffer because of Kane's loss. So for me, I think 10. Now, defenders-wise, improvements. It depends on who you sign. If you miraculously manage to sign Tapsoba, then I think you're I think you do a bit better. I think you finish 7th or 6th, because I really rate Tapsoba. But if you sign Van de Ven and Tosin, it's going to be the same stuff. It's going to be and you keep Kane, I think 7th or 8th, I think is your problem. But so yeah, I would say between 8th and 6th at best. I think Europa League would be if Ange gets Europa League for you guys this year, I think that would be a big achievement with this squad at the moment, especially just with the turmoil around Kane and just with the lack of signings. I think it'll be big time for him. So yeah, that's my prediction.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little more diabolical than that. I just don't
relegation, TJ.
I'm not saying relegation. A lot of Spurs fans are saying relegation. My buddy Deji Spurs was saying relegation.
Nah, come on.
No, but that isn't me. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you guys get rid of, if Kane leaves and you don't get an adequate replacement, you're not replacing all of those goals by committee. You are replacing some. You are not replacing all. So what I'm saying is without Kane, regardless of who you bring in, yeah, you are bringing in James Maddison. He will help you score goals. He scored how many goals last season? Like 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was in a dead Leicester team where nobody else could score. So it all fell on him. You would hope that he would be able to be more of a distributor this season than scoring goals. Kind of going what C Cubes was saying there, but it's not enough to replace what Harry Kane brought or brings to Spurs. Still, he hasn't been sold yet. So I'm saying without Kane, 12th is what I'm saying.
That could
12th.
happen.
With Kane, 8th or 9th.
Really?
The back line is still dead.
That's
you guys
true.
are going to get You guys are going to get You guys got countered by West Ham's B team.
I don't agree with that. If Kane leaves, you have to replace the goals. The goals will be shared. That it
By
just means
who?
that one team's what players going to have to players have to be
Alex,
more like a team.
By who?
Who's going to score his goals? Kulusevski.
Well, yeah, but it's not about him replacing his goals. The point is that we're going to be more a team. That's the point. That's the point.
I agree.
I'm not saying that it's going to be better. I'm not saying it's going to be better. I've said it's going to be an up and down season for Tottenham. We're going to have some fashions. We all accept it. We all accept it. The only thing that I disagree with certain Tottenham fans is that I don't know if the board have got the bottle to stick with him if he has a bad run and the fans go mad. So I'm calling the board out. I'm saying to them, okay, you said what you said. That's cool in June. Will you stick by it when he has a bad run? And that's what I'm saying. If he gets thrashed 6-0, which he will, we'll get hammerings. We will get hammerings this season.
Spurs need to be smart. They need to look and say, okay, we're going to get 100 million. Let's spend.
We're not going to get 100 million for him. We're not going to get 100 million for him.
You will.
We're not going to get 100
Bayern
million.
Munich are going to give you 100 million.
Why would a team go for 100 million for him now, when they can get him for free in January?
But they won't. That's the point. Because when it comes to January, Bayern Munich aren't going to be alone. They're going to Man United.
Exactly. So that's the point I'm making. And the thing is, though, Tottenham fans can't say that much because they were bigging up the fact that we didn't go for Rea at 40 million. He's got the same amount of years on his contract than Kane.
No,
So
I agree. I agree
so
about that. But if
it's just pointless. It's pointless having this argument. The point I
it's,
make is right is that Kane needs to leave because he's fed up. Yeah,
I
people
agree.
have respect for him if he put a transfer request in and Tottenham Hotspur acted like a big club and said, "Sorry, you're not bigger than the club now. We need to move you on," and that's it. And then
No,
use that money to get defenders in. I don't even know why we're using that money anyway. We should
but
have
you
enough
need
money to get
guys. I
Tatsoba and bloody Van der Ven in, for
No,
goodness sake.
Tab Soba, like again, you guys missed the beat again. You should have tried to sign him 3 weeks to 4 weeks earlier. What happened was that Villa just gave Leverkusen 60 million euros for Diaby. So why would Leverkusen now say we need money? They're a really well-run club. They have plenty of cash in the bank now. If they see you guys spending 45 million euros on Van de Ven, who's had one decent season in the Bundesliga. I wouldn't even call it decent if you actually read his stats. Just because you saw one clip of him running in a straight line really fast, great, okay. You know who? Yeah, you know who was also really athletic but a terrible defender? Titus Bramble, Micah Richards. I can name numerous athletes that look and that have all the physical tools to be good defenders, but it doesn't make them good defenders. So if you pay 45 million euros for this guy, Leverkusen are going to look at that and say, you're paying 45 million for Van de Ven? We want double that. We want 80. We want 70 million at least, because Tapsoba was playing the Bundesliga for 3 years and is easily being one of the best defenders there. So, in my opinion, you should get one good defender, and that, for me, it should be Tapsoba, and go cheap with the second guy. So get a Tosin, who, again, when people say, again, people don't, it's like, I just don't get, like, just read simple stats. If you read about Tosin, his biggest weakness is his on-the-ball ability. His passing stats are atrocious. So if you want to play Ange ball, where he's passing out from the back, Tosin is as good as Davinson Sanchez on the ball in terms of his stats. His passing is horrendous. So if you press Tosin, there's a reason why he lost his place at Fulham. Again, but still, I would sign him and then I would use the rest of the money and try and blow all that money on Vlahovic, because you cannot.
I'm sorry. No.
He's better. He's better than Richarlison.
I would agree with that. I'm sorry.
He's better than Richarlison.
The fact is, right. What we need is centre defenders. Now, if Toza, it's a Soba and Van der Ven are your defenders, you get them in. Yeah. This is what we're bigging up the whole summer. This is what I was bigged up all this summer, saying, "Oh, we need to get Tapsoba. We need to get this. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get him. We get him." And you're flopping like you're flopping like you're just about to just go for it at the moment, and then you just flop on at the very end, don't you? You know what I mean? And you know what I'm talking about, but I can't go there because it's a PG show. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So it's just like I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's just like, just get him. I'm sorry, Vlahovic. This is what's the problem with football now these days. Yeah, I remember when there was Batistuta, Shearer, real players. Yeah, Vlahovic. He had one little great season he had a couple of good seasons at Fiorentina. I've not seen him since. I'm trying to figure out if he actually turned up. I've never heard such absolute waffle in my life. Again, because we got to talk about stats. It's like we talk about XG, which is a load of rubbish, by the way, as well, by the way. You know what I mean? Because would you talk about XG if it was Zidane? No, you wouldn't, because you see it right now. You know what I mean? Figo. You know what I mean? Modric. You know what I mean? I don't need to say anymore, Bob, because at the end of the day, I know my football. You know what I mean? Those are real players back in the day. Now it's like you have one little good season. Oh, wonder kid, generational talent. What the rubbish I've heard of. What the absolute tosh. My gosh. Back to you, Nari. I'm done.
Big up Danny the Bomb.
All I can say is, Allegri's first careers, Vlahovic went to the wrong team. This is a totally different team.
Allegri ruins young players. Everybody knows this. And wait. If we use the Spurs argument, which was when people were taking the piss out of signing Juventus rejects and Bentancur and Kulusevski, who were key in your run to get top 4, what's the difference if you sign Vlahovic? You could revive his career. He's at Fiorentina, he had a goal scoring record, of, I think it was like 24 goals and like 27 appearances. Man United just paid 73 million for a guy that scored like 8 goals in like 37 appearances or something like that. And Vlahovic is being scouted by everybody. He was really liked by Arsenal. Arsenal tried to really sign him.
He's going to blossom wherever he goes.
I really think I just think Allegri is just, he's the graveyard for young players. And if you look at all the young players that have just gone down since,
they hate him. They hate him. Chelsea hate him. They hate him.
Hates him. Locatelli's level has gone down significantly. He even lost his place to Rabiot at one point during the season. So all of the young players at Juve have gone down, and that's why they're trying to sign Lukaku now and trying to replace him with Vlahovic. Trying to sell Vlahovic the other way. That for me is just nuts. So
yeah,
that's and if I was Spurs, I would try and exploit that. But
yeah,
Spurs don't have a very good scouting network.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Can I turn it around one more time? I'm going to ask the Ange question. How long of a leash does Ange have? So if he finishes outside of Europe, is he going to lose his job?
Well, I said no. Because
you really think Levy has the patience for that?
This is what I'm saying. I said already, right? If this is 4 years, right, this is going to take time, and we all understand it's going to take time. So, like I said, this is no, because if you wanted a fast, quick fix, should have kept Conte, yeah, and I would not have liked it anyway. Or Mourinho, not sacked him before the cup final. So it's like I said before, right? If he doesn't get what he wants or has a bad run, right, you stick with your man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because,
will Levy do that though? He has a track record of not doing
he didn't believe it in the first place, then, didn't he, TJ? If he doesn't, he didn't believe it in the first place.
But
again, and that's why I don't believe anything, and I need convincing. Yeah, because he's getting my money. Because the backing he's getting from me is my money that I go every single week. And by the way, I'm going to go to Manchester United because thanks to my boy Danny, I've taken his ticket.
There you go. Have fun.
They're getting my ball. They're not getting my money anyway because I'm paying Danny for it. You know what I mean? Because I've rather pay my boy Danny, even though he's deluded. Yeah, right. I've rather pay my boy Danny rather than paying the club. You know what I mean? Yeah, but they're getting my money every single week as well. Last season as well, after Manchester United, because I gave up after that. You know what I mean? So that's the backing I'm giving it. My money. Yeah, but I ain't talking about it anymore. My money's doing it every single week.
I want to hear Mahri's opinion on this too.
I think he stays. It would be ruthless. First of all, you have not given this guy center backs, right? You're already setting him up to fail, right? That Brentford game, it could easily be an L. We're definitely not going to beat United. I mean, even if we get the signings in, we have given them no time to even gel. So this is why I went on a rant the other day on the Monday show, because it's pure incompetence. Like, we are supposedly a big six club, right? But yet, for 3 years running, we have not signed a center back. You remember last year, this is the off season, we're going to sign someone. How are you going to fail Ange and not sign a center back, right? Yeah, we got Madison, right? Team got regulated, right? So they were ready to sell him, right? And he wanted to play in London. All right, perfect. The main number one key was to get not one, but 2 center backs, minimum. And we're still to this day, I don't care if it's an advance. I want to see the ink dry. I want to see the jersey held up. Then I will believe and say, okay, we got our center backs. But even then, we set Ange up to fail in the beginning because these guys are now already in. So it will be heartless if they didn't give him beyond the year. Honestly, he would have to finish 15th, 16th, or 17th. And our fan base, as fickle as this, get rid of him. That would be the only way. I don't see Ange coming back.
I think
if he doesn't get Champions League, he finishes 9th. we have a pulse in the offense, I think his job is safe.
Wait, I just wanted to add on to the question from TJ. Are you guys not concerned? Because I've noticed this with Spurs managers. Are you not concerned that he came in with a reputation that he doesn't take crap from anybody? He confronts the owners and stuff. Are you not worried a little bit that he took all the players on tour? He didn't isolate anybody. Like, it looks like he's suiting kind of the Levy. I would say the Levy tag that, oh, these players are good. They just players like Eric Dyer. He took him on tour. Ben Davis. Like, aren't you worried that he's already kind of falling into the trap of Levy-ness, which is, trying to always force players onto him that maybe he doesn't rate? Like, the only player I think he isolated fully, two players that I noticed that were always outside of the matchday squad, were Spence and Joe Rodon. The other players like Lo Celso and Dombele, these players should have been gone ages ago. And the fact that maybe Lo Celso maybe hasn't had luck with the coaches, but I think he has I don't know, like, he's always injured. So I don't know if he suits the Premier League anyway, but aren't you worried that he's already showing signs that he's not going to change anything at Spurs? I know it's unlikely, but for example, Conte didn't take Reguilon last year. I remember on tour, he didn't take Lo Celso or any of those Brian Hill. He didn't take on tour, while Ange took everybody. So yeah, I just wanted to actually get your view on that.
To answer that question, we'll go on to Arsenal. I said it on the Monday night show. The only person that could change Levy is Levy. I like Ange. I like his spirit. I like his philosophy to football. I like him. The problem is, it's not him. The problem is Levy and the board. They have already set him up to fail. And get these center backs in time for the preseason. Because you have those in our fan base. Oh, as long as we get them in before August 31st. Well, we've already would have played 3 Premier League games, which includes a home game to United. And you have to give time for players to adjust to come in. And so, as much as people say, oh, Levy changed when they signed Madison, I was one of the few, this channel, Tom away, we're not fooled. We know a leopard can't change his spots. Cannot change his spots. I know Daniel Levy. And so, yeah, you're right. You probably told Ange, well, Conte can't do miracles with these players. Glad we brought you in, right? You're known to do that at Celtic, right? Take players and so that's how Daniel Levy works. That's how he works. So yeah. I want to go to the next subject. We went full circle, so we're going full circle again. I would like to hear Alex's opinion on Arsenal.
This is
prediction.
gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Let's hear it.
Truth in entertainment. Let's go. Let's hear it.
You need to win the trophy this season.
I agree.
Win the trophy this season.
Have to.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think unfortunately Arsenal just went over the top last season. I've got to be honest. Yeah, they were better than us all day long, but I'm not. I mean, it doesn't take that much to be better than Tottenham anyway. To be honest with you. So I mean, yeah, that's it.
True.
Really. They should have really won. I think really the Europa League was really bad. That was bad. That was bad last season. You threw that away, and for me, that was a really big mistake. But they need to win something this season. And getting Champions League should be a standard for a big club. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's no excuses now this season. There's no excuses at all. The signings are, Declan Rice is a very good signing. You've got to give it to him. Timber's all right. He looks good.
He's all right.
With him. No, he looks good. He does look good.
Okay.
And then Havertz. I mean, I mean, we'll see what happens. They seem to have a plan for him anyway. So yeah, and Rayo's a bit of confusing really for me, but I think it's a bit of a left field signing. But I can see the logic, but the money that they're spending, and that's it really. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, the you know,
Have they caught up? Have they caught up to City? Can they
I
win the
don't
league?
know. We have to see. I think City are way ahead of a lot of all the teams. And when I said there's an elite side of part of the Premier League, and they're streets ahead, even though they've got above average John Carew, Haaland, who
Stop with
with the
that, man.
goals, with the goals, with the goals, with the goals. I have to say that. With the goals, I have to say that. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, that's it really. That's what I was saying. That's it really.
So where are we gonna finish in the league, in your opinion? What's your prediction?
Third.
Who's gonna finish
We'll get to
second?
that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's going to be the last segment, I think.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Okay.
Ari, what do you think?
I thought last season was the season really to pipe Man City.
Why?
I'm ready hearing Pep already talk that talk, like, guys. He's starting early, talking to his squad because he knows that the Premier League will be a bloodbath. It's by far the best league right now. Some people want to call it farmers because City has won 4 of the last 5, but there's a big difference. It's really a big difference. There's a lot of good teams in the Premier League. Aston Villa is going to be good. They're going to be great. And so, in regards to Arsenal, I don't want to say they sneaked up on a lot of teams, but this year, a lot of teams are now, and this is where I worry. I agree with TJ, because before they had that bounce back game, that 5-3 game, that game against Man United was a little bit telling in sense of just like, okay, you're not taking it. I know it's a preseason game whatsoever, but you have to know that you're going to be hunted. Though you did not win the Premier League, you're now in the same shoes, wearing the same shoes as City. But now you have teams like, oh, this is Arsenal. This is the team that's getting all the hype, all the press. So you're going to get 19 other clubs best, because this is the team is supposed to dethrone City. This is the team that is supposed to now, the student is supposed to beat the master. And so I think that with Champions League, and I agree with Alex, you have to get a trophy, and so you got to take the FA Cup serious. I just think it's not enough to pipe City. And I also have another team that is going to propel, and in my opinion, that's going to do good. And so that's why I have them in a close. I have them in a close second, third position. I think the other team has more goal differential, so that will make Arsenal finish third. But I think Arsenal will use that for that following season to finish first. That's what I think.
Okay. TJ?
Stefan, you go, man.
Okay. I'm gonna sound maybe delusional. I think we're gonna win the league. I think we're not gonna start as well because we have so many new players and we have kind of a new way of playing based on the rotations and stuff like that. But I just think if you look at history, every single team that has won a big trophy haul, the next year it's very difficult for them. It's very difficult for them to get motivated. For example, Real Madrid 2 years ago won the Champions League, the league. I don't think they won the Copa del Rey, but they won the Champions League in the league. The next year after, they got, in the Champions League, they got outplayed by Man City. They didn't have the same, and I think they got beaten by Barcelona in the league by like 12 points, I think, or 13. So the motivation just isn't there. From an Arsenal perspective, I think we're now much more geared, much more competitive in terms of starting 11 and rotational players. And I think Arteta finally now has a team where he trusts more than 15 players. And so I think this is just a pure, it's a change. So in my opinion, I think Arsenal, based on the money that we've spent, especially if we sign David Raya, I think we have to win the league. I don't want to win the FA Cup. We've won the FA Cup plenty of times. I want us to win the league, and I expect us also to make at least the quarterfinals of the Champions League. With the squad we have, I really think we should also make a strong run in the Champions League. And my prediction is that I think we'll finish first. And yeah, I just don't see Man City repeating it. One, because they've lost a lot of key pieces. Just to, go on just a description, 30 seconds. They lost Mahrez. The two players that they're being linked to, Michael Olise and Jeremy Doku, who are two very talented players, but they're nowhere near Mahrez's level. They lost their X Factor last year, who in my opinion was their best player and their most important player in the run-in from April to May, which was Gyöngyöm. He scored so many clutch goals in key moments. They lost him. They haven't replaced him yet. And they're also going to lose probably Cancelo. They're Kyle Walker. Nobody knows what's going on, but if they do lose him, who are they going to replace him with? I don't think they're going to find another right back of his quality or of his experience even. So for me, I just think this is Arsenal's year. We have to win this year. I think the money we've spent, the squad we have, our squad is ridiculous of how deep it is. It's ridiculous. So we need to win. I mean, we have Declan Rice, Jorginho, and Partey as defensive midfielders. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Stefan,
yeah.
Do you like daydreaming?
Oh Jesus, here we go.
Because I think you're daydreaming, bruv. Honestly,
okay.
Like, honestly, bruv, you just walked into that one easily, absolutely easily. Honestly, bro. Honestly, you're absolutely clutching if you think you're going to do anything against this Man City side. Yeah, you were how many points ahead of Man City last season? They bantered you out the building. They bantered you out the building. Yeah, right. Above average John Carew, Haaland, literally bantered you out the building when he came to Man City's home ground, bruv. Honestly,
he also won Player of the Year, Alex.
Bantered out the building. Yeah, didn't see you coming. Yeah, went past you. Got to won the league, won the FA Cup, and then won the Champions League on the counter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're a great team, Alex.
Treble, and they didn't even look down. You know what I mean? They even look back.
That's why
they started looking at you and said, "Oh, bye. Look at us. We've got the trophies, by the way. Look at you." You know what I mean?
And that's why.
But what makes you think that they're going to do anything worse than this season, bro?
200 million pounds. 200 million pounds, Alex.
200 million pounds, bro. Yes. They've got people, bro. I'll tell you right now, they've got Calvin Phillips, who didn't have that much of a season this season. I bet he steps up this season, bro. You know what I mean?
For Rodri? You really think Calvin Phillips is going to get game time instead of Rodri?
All day long. Okay, if you underestimate Man City, this is the thing, yeah. There's one thing I will say, yeah. There's people out there that will say this guy talks a load of rubbish sometimes and he's negative. But I'll tell you now, yeah.
You do.
Sava. No, I don't. I talk the truth, bruv. If you don't know, get to know, bruv. And you need to know that, bruv. And that's all I need to say. You know what I mean?
Spurs are getting the
everyone was saying, you're mad, yeah? Arsenal got to win the league, yeah? One man
they have to
put his money where his mouth is, yeah? Sava put his money where his mouth is. I'm not trying to big him up for the sake of it. He said it himself, and I'll give it totally true. He said, do not underestimate Man City. He was spot on every single time, and he was right. Yeah, and he looked like the man that spoke the truth all day long on that one, and that's it. Yeah,
Man City,
and that's all it is, and that's it, bro. And that's it.
Who underestimates Man City? I just think that based on what has happened this transfer window, the money we've spent and the money we're going to spend more supposedly, and the players that Man City have lost, and the fact that, let's be honest, apart from Haaland, all of Man City's players, especially their key player, Kevin De Bruyne, they're getting old. So they're I don't think they're slowly getting into the year where they're going to need to try and find a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. Try and find a replacement. These players cannot be replaced so easily. And in my opinion, I think Arsenal's players are now going into the peak of all of our best players are turning 23, 24. The experience of last season will help them with this year. And the fact that we managed to get Declan Rice. Declan Rice, in my opinion, is a game changer of a transfer. Combine him with Partey and Jorginho is better. Our third choice defensive midfielder is better than Calvin Phillips. So, in my opinion, we have the only place where we don't have depth, and technically is in the center forward position. They have Haaland and Alvarez, who's better than Jesus and Nketiah. Everywhere else across the pitch, including if we sign goalkeeper, I think we have more depth and more cover. In defense, we have more fullback. If they lose Kyle Walker, they have no fullbacks, Alex. They have no, because they're going to lose
but,
too.
bro, I think you forget.
And Walker wants to leave.
I think you forget though, bro. Yeah, you were
They-
out the Europa League. You're out the Europa League, right?
Last season.
That you bottled it. You ducked
We
the
lost some
FA Cup. You
penalties,
ducked
Alex.
the Carabao Cup.
Where are we
yeah?
this
And
season,
all
Alex?
you had was the league to work on. Yeah, Man City. Yeah, last part of the season, you were 4 or 5 points away above ahead of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you still bottled it. Yeah, because Man City got the better of you, and then you lost your mettle. You know what I mean?
We lost Saliba.
That's what Man City does.
We lost.
Last how many games of the season, and you cannot duck them at any time, and
We
that's
lost. We lost one of our most important players in that. Probably our most important player because we didn't have a good replacement. Now we have Timber and Ben White who can take that role. It's not going to be Saliba to Holding. It will be Saliba to Timber or Ben White. So we can cope with the loss, even though Saliba, for me, we don't have
It doesn't matter whether
like
you've
him.
got. It doesn't matter whether you've got Saliba and
I
Timber
mean, it doesn't matter.
and all
We
these
had
other
Rob
players
Holding.
as well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you
Okay.
haven't got the experience of winning, bro. Yeah, Man City know when
Okay.
it's
You'll see.
time to
Come
play,
on.
when it's time to get things going. They get things going last part of the season. That's it. They start ticking.
Nobody denies that, but I have confidence that Arsenal, with the money that they have spent, have improved a lot since last season, and that a lot means that we can take our 84-point haul. I think with the additions that we made, I think we can add another at least 9 points. I really do.
Also, now we're going to talk about points now, bro. Again, dreaming. You know what I mean? I don't play FIFA, bro. You know what I mean? Honestly, you need to get rid of those controls. Take those controls off your hand and start putting them away. You know what I mean? And putting them to the side. Yeah, and watch
what do you want
and
about,
actually
man?
look at what real football is. You know what I mean? And let's look at what's happened in the past, and we work on what's happened in the
You
past.
just
And
said Richarlison
predict
was
the
better
future.
than Gabriel Jesus. No more
Yeah.
than an hour ago.
We're not talking about Tottenham because Tottenham are always in the mud anyway, so don't make a blind bit of difference. My point is,
I'm just saying.
my point is,
your opinion
because the main event's still speaking, TJ, and that's how it goes every single time. My point is, is that the fact is,
Okay.
Man
Elias,
City
okay, man.
know how to get it job done.
No, but
Man City know how to get the job done.
You know what?
Every single time. Yeah,
No.
Guardiola. Well, he's a genius, bro. By the way, right?
Nobody
He had John
denies
Stones,
that.
who was doing nothing a couple of seasons ago. Then he gets him going against Diaz, make a good partnership. Then he thinks, oh, you know what? Put him in midfield. You know what I mean? That's Pep Guardiola, bruv. Elite manager, bruv. Elite manager. Not a PE teacher like Arteta is. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what it's called. Rinsing you to pieces, bruv. Now, I'll give you back the mic now to dig a hole for yourself. And that's it. Back to you, Mario. I'm done.
Let me just respond to him really quickly.
Go ahead,
TJ,
and then I'm going.
Yeah, TJ, you remember in the comments, you know how funny Spurs fans in terms of how desperate they are? Because I remember now I'm reading Arsenal aren't going to be the same because Xhaka left. If you take it to last season, every single Spurs fan was saying Xhaka was our weak link, that Xhaka wasn't good enough, that Højbjerg was better than Xhaka.
It's because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Now suddenly, Yeah, now suddenly because we lost Xhaka,
agenda.
our midfield isn't the same. It's not going to be okay now. So this is what I mean. You're going to be glorified Man City fans because everybody who hates the other team are glorified Man City fans, in terms of because nobody gives a crap about Man City that much. So that's why everybody wants them to win. They don't want Arsenal or Man United or whoever. So that's my point. But if people think that I'm gonna say that I'm not expecting us to win the league, I think it's disingenuous. The amount of money that we spent, the way we've progressed from each
Mahri,
season.
will you shoot Danny the link? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Stefan. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to say how Spurs fans change the narrative.
Well, they changed the narrative to suit their agenda, and it is what it is. Everybody is guilty of that on this platform, on Twitter, on whatever. It is what it is. The real ones, I would like to think that I'm a real one, is realistic. Okay, I'm not gonna change my stripes because Spurs are playing Aston Villa. I don't give a shit. You guys are not. Excuse my language. You guys are not the levels of Arsenal, so I don't care. I don't care. Okay, you guys putting on your Man City shirts and cheering for them to beat us is fine. It just shows the levels of your team, which is fine. So when we beat you guys 2-0 away again, and we beat you 3-1 at the Emirates again.
No, not 3-1.
We don't need to have this conversation. It is what it is. It is what it is. So my prediction is Arsenal are going to get second. We're going to win the FA Cup. It is what it is. I don't think we have the depth in the attacking positions for us to get it over the line. We need a number 9 that'll get us over the line.
I agree.
We are not ready to win yet. And here's the thing is if Arteta does not get me silverware, I want him gone. Vibes FC is over. The process is over. It's time to win.
What if TJ we finish with 96, 97 points and we finish second?
Don't care.
Did.
Win me a trophy. Don't care. If you don't think we're going to win the league, make a run at the Champions League. Make a run. I don't care if you care about Cup. Make a run at the FA Cup. Get me a trophy. It's time to win. It's time to take every competition seriously. We are big Arsenal.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually agree with you. I predict if we don't win the league this year, and it's obvious maybe that we lack a center forward, I think we're gonna go big next year for a number 9.
That's fine, but I'm talking about now.
Let's see. I mean, last year people also forget that Man City had a lot of luck with injuries. They literally had no injuries in the last 4 months.
If you really think about it, Stefan, so did we.
We know because we lost Jesus for 3 months after the World Cup.
I know, but half of the fan base was pulling down their pants for Eddie Nketiah.
I agree. Do I think Eddie is good enough to, if Jesus gets injured for us to, push in the Champions League or push in the no. But
thank you for admitting that. Thank you for
I agree with you. But I still think that people are a little bit too harsh on Eddie, but I don't think right now that he's good enough to replace Jesus. Sometimes I don't even think Jesus is enough. That's why I predict that if we don't win the league this year, I really do think we're going to go all out for a striker next season. And because Arteta is ruthless, you have 3 or 4 bad months like Ramsdale, boom.
Mm-hmm.
David Ray. Yeah,
I agree with you. By the way, before we move on, follow me at TJ Warren TV. Shameless plug. Arsenal fan channel. American Idiots tomorrow night, 9 p.m. UK time.
The link.
The Spurs frauds in the chat who are calling me a fraud. Come on here and call me a fraud. I'll be happy to debate you.
I'm gonna get to the next subject. I will put TJ's link. I will also put box office link to get these guys to 1,000. We need to do that. Our next subject, but before we go in, Fabrizio Romano actually said, "Here we go." Valise is
Van de Ven?
No, for Valise.
Oh, for Valise. Okay.
He's coming to Spurs. I personally like the signing. I think it's another youthful person. He reminds me more of the taller version of Lautaro Martinez, and so I like the signing. I love the signing. I'm not being biased because of my Argentinian support. I actually have seen him play a couple of times, and I think he's really. I rate him. Is he like Julian Alvarez? I would say no. Julian Alvarez, when we were linked to him, I wanted to play for my rivals, River Plate. I really wanted Julian Alvarez. Of course, we didn't get him. Smart play by City. City's also looking at Armada for cheap for 15 for Atlanta for MLS Atlanta FC. That's where Almiron came from. So that's another young Argentinian coming in. So I like the signing, and we'll get to that. I'll do a video on that, and we will talk about that. But the next topic where we're going to end tonight is, because we're talking about predictions, so this might be heated. This is EPL standings, predictions for the EPL. So, Danny, I sent you the link. So you have the link if you can jump on. Since we're talking about predictions. EPL predictions. So I said Arsenal third. I have Man City finishing first. I have
Man United.
I have no, not
No.
Man. I have Liverpool coming back finishing second.
I don't know where you get that. I have no
Yes.
idea where you get that.
I don't get the Liverpool.
I like what they did for their midfield. I think Klopp is going to have that team.
I agree with you, actually, Mahri. Actually, I was thinking about that, by the way.
Everybody got to kick Liverpool. I think Liverpool is going to bounce back hard. They're one of the two teams I think that are going to bounce back hard. I have Liverpool finishing second. I have and they don't have that pressure of Champions League. I know they're in the Europa League, but I think they're going to play around with the Europa League. I think they'll be all focused on the Premier League. So I have them finishing second. Finishing third, I have Arsenal. I actually have the tied in points, but I have by goal differential Liverpool being ahead. Fourth, I have the return of Chelsea. Chelsea, yeah. I'm telling you now, Potts will have those guys running all cylinders. I like the Sand. I like Jackson. I think he's going to be great. I like Akunu. He's going to do great. And if you watch their preseason games, they are showing their ingredients that they're going to be a good team, especially when he has his first team coming on. When he takes up the subs, it's totally different. I like what they're doing, and I think Chelsea is going to be the team that also bounce back, but they finish.
What about Man United?
Oh, this is the shock. This is the shocker. This is the shocker. Fifth, I have
Aston
Villa finishing fifth. Those are
wow.
Those are my dark. And I know United fans are going to kill me.
They're down.
I just think it's just something about United that is just not enough. It's not saying that they had a bad season. I just think the Premier League is that tough. I really do. The Premier League's that tough.
And they don't have depth. They don't have any depth.
I have Aston Villa being the surprise darling on the Premier League, finishing fifth. I got to hang out with a lot of the Villa fans and I was talking about their season because they played in Orlando. They played against Fulham, and they were spot on in their transfer window, getting Torres, getting Ketia. And I mean, their Aston Villa is my dark horse team to get Champions League spot with that fifth place. Then United for Europa, right? It can happen. Chelsea fell down. Liverpool falls down. Those teams can fall down. Okay. Then, seventh. And then seventh, if I say I'm taking another surpriser. I think Newcastle can handle both.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle can't handle both. I know Thing is going to grill me. I think they're going to have a tough time challenging in all competitions. So I'm telling you, it's a bloodbath.
Eighth, Brighton,
Newcastle, and then if the magic wand for Spurs may be eighth or ninth between them and Brighton. This is how hard the league is. I even forgot Newcastle, but I had the reasons why Newcastle fall. I think Newcastle is going to struggle to keep top four. It is that hard. It is that hard, the Premier League. Of course, leading goal scorer is Erling Haaland. I have him as leading goal scorer. I also have once again De Bruyne winning player of the year. I have him winning player of the year. Manager of the year is Good Evening. I think Emery is gonna get it as the
Wow.
Champions place. I have him as my manager of the year. So those are
Villa
my
Love. Villa Love is strong with you, Mari. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're looking good, but I don't know if they're looking that good.
TJ to finish ahead of Man United. Wow.
I don't know
okay.
about that. I don't know
Yeah.
about that. But it's his top four. Who's getting relegated?
I have a
Yeah,
lot.
who's getting
Regulated. I have I probably would say Luton. I think they're going to go down. I
Burnley?
think it's a
Burnley
nice,
2.0.
nice story. Nice story. I think Burnley will probably go down. As much as I like company, I think they're going to go down. And here's a surprise. Who made
Wolves?
the Wolves? Yeah, you stole my answer. I think they've been lucky and scathed. So it's Wolves.
They haven't signed. They haven't signed anybody, and have lost one of their best players and another one of their key players in João Moutinho. So I can totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, you're right about the coefficient. Yeah, but they'll finish. They'll finish fifth. They'll finish fifth, and which is a great year for Villa.
Which is-
We'll go to box office. Your EPL predictions. Premier League predictions.
Well, me.
Yeah.
Well, for me,
No, the yes,
The other
you.
guy named Bell.
Yeah.
for me, my prediction is. I just remember. Say the question again. Sorry, I really thought it. Sorry, bro.
Premier League predictions. Your top five, your top 10, in the Premier League.
I agree with you what you said about Man City, Man City, right, and Liverpool being second. For some reason, I don't know why second. Then I think Arsenal will be third, possibly, and then it's between Arsenal and Man United. Then it's the fifth spot. Newcastle would be in the mix, I think.
Okay.
And then it really is a toss up between the pack below. So you either have Brighton there, possibly. I think it's going to be. I think it's hard. I think it's hard to see Brighton following up what they did last season, though. To be honest with you, because again,
They
they've
made
got
some.
that,
They made some really good
they
signings.
made some great signings. I'm not disappointed, but I think
They added
again
Milner,
when you got that expectation now, are you
Dahoud
gonna
from
are
Dortmund.
you gonna match that expectation that you did last season? I don't know. Aston Villa are going to be an interesting one. I think they're going to finish above Tottenham definitely.
Man United first, John George, man. What second
Um,
Chelsea? Jesus.
So yeah, I think yeah. To answer your question, I think it's going to be Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. Oh yeah, I forgot Chelsea, didn't I? Damn.
Above Liverpool, Spurs. Wow.
Burnley seventh.
I forgot Chelsea. I forgot Chelsea as well. It's a difficult one. I just don't know how. I don't know how Chelsea are going to be with Pochettino. I don't know. So it's between Man City will be top definitely. I think Liverpool might be in the mix in the second. Then you got Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea. So I think that's your top five. That's your top five at the moment. I think.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't know what the order's going to be because at the moment I don't know what you're going to get out of what you're going to have with Chelsea.
Who's gonna get?
Yeah,
Who's going to get relegated, Alex?
relegated. Oh, I don't know. I think it's more going to be because I don't really rate the teams. The only team that I think have got a chance of getting the only chance of staying up is Burnley. I don't rate Sheffield United. I don't rate Luton. So, and the other
them
team that I
two?
think I'd be worried about is Wolves at the
Yeah.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, you want to go or?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah. Yeah. So first place City, unfortunately. I just think, I think we match them in quality, but Pep Guardiola's Pep Guardiola. So that's just the way it is. I've said that for weeks, that he's going to be the difference maker, and he tends to be all the time. He's one of the greatest managers ever.
Yeah, he's
second Arsenal, third Newcastle. I think people are underrating Newcastle.
Wow.
I think they're underrating Newcastle. I really do think that the top three is going to stay the same. Their midfield, they've bolstered their midfield with that Tonali buy, and they're going to have a full season, hopefully, of Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak was cooking
I agree.
at the end of the season last season. So I don't understand why people are not rating Newcastle. So Newcastle third. Fourth, this is where it gets weird. Fourth and fifth is where it gets a little weird. I don't think Chelsea are going to get in there. I really don't. I think they have way too much to clean up from last season. I don't know where their goals are coming from. I don't, that's the big thing with me is who have Chelsea signed?
They have no midfield.
They have no midfield. They, Kepa is fine, but he can't do anything with that back line.
Sanchez is worse. Sanchez is arguably worse.
Sanchez, and they signed Sanchez, and half the Chelsea fan base with the brain is like, why did we do that?
Yeah.
What's the point? What's the difference between him and Mendy? Not much. If anything, Sanchez is
Mendy's much better. Mendy's much better.
If anything, Sanchez is a downgrade. So I don't know where all these people are thinking that Chelsea's just going to come out of the woodwork because they aren't playing in Europe. They stopped playing in Europe pretty quickly last season, and what happened towards the end?
They got worse.
They continued to lose. Exactly. They had Frank Lampard. Poch is good, but he's not a miracle worker. So give Poch some time. Yes, he will have them back in Europe. Not next season though. Sorry, not next season. Let's see. Nkunku is not the magic formula. You can't wave a magic wand and say Nkunku and fix all their problems.
No. All you can say to that is what happened to the other big Bundesliga stars that moved to Chelsea. Did they turn out good?
We bought one of them. So it is what it is. When you know how I feel about, I've made my feelings very well known about.
It's a difficult one. Sorry to interrupt you, TJ, but it's a difficult one right now because at the end of the day, I don't know how Chelsea are going to be, and I don't know how it's going to work out with Pochettino there.
I think Pochettino will get them back, but not quickly.
Yeah, I think you just don't know at the moment. I think, you know what I mean. But one thing for sure, I would say at the moment is that City are the team to beat, and
and the rest of them. The rest of my top four, Liverpool will probably get fourth. I don't see them finishing
over Man United.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't think
Man United. I'm really surprised how people are really downplaying Man United in this.
That wouldn't be good enough for Liverpool.
Man United will get fifth. I think Man United will get fifth.
That wouldn't be good enough for Liverpool because I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans saying that this is not the standard that they really expect. You see what I'm saying? So they're very downhearted at the moment. That
Alex,
Cube,
can I just answer?
That's a big if they get Caicedo. Everybody and their mother is Caicedo. And unless they are willing to pay the 100 M's it's going to take to get him through the door, which nobody is willing to do, he's not leaving Brighton.
He's going to pay it, TJ. He's gonna. I think they will in the end, but they'll get him on transfer. He's crazy. That Todd Bowley. He's gonna pay them 120 million or something. They're gonna suck everything.
He had one good season. And
Yeah,
all
but
these guys
come
are
on,
losing it for
TJ.
him.
Caicedo's quality.
He is quality, but I'm not saying he's 100 M's quality.
No,
I didn't think
no,
Declan Rice was 100 M's quality. You think I'm going to say Caicedo is?
No, yeah, that's true. No, I agree. But
Like,
here's
what are we doing here? Am I living in crazy land?
no,
Like,
they're
you
just
can't
they're
say on
just
one side of your
signing
mouth
players.
that Declan Rice isn't worth 100 mil and then say Caicedo is. Like, it's just not the.
No.
Come on.
No, it's true, but answering why are we sleeping on Chelsea, CQ? Chelsea literally just lost every single one of their leadership group. Kovacic, Kante, Aspilicueta. They have no experienced players. So this concept that preseason,
I actually think that's a good thing.
no, it's not. No, it's not because when
those players quit on
no, they didn't. They just had a bad season. But when the chips are down and when they're in a struggle,
and making fun of him in the locker room, the players they were making fun of.
Forget the fact that because of Todd Bowley, they had a first team of 40 players in which they had to build a separate changing room. If you read the reports, because they couldn't fit in all the players. That's not on the coach. That's on Todd Bowley. But what I'm saying is that you're not going to tell me that replacing Kovacic, replacing Aspilicueta, and having your key players, which are Reece James, who is always injured. He will get injured again because he's always injured at Chelsea. They lost Mason Mount. They're basically blooding every single one of the academy players where they can make money off of them. They're losing. So there's no connection within the club. If you look at every successful team, there's always some sort of a 2 or 3 or even 4 players that are from the academy that know the actual team, that feel for the team. They have none of that at Chelsea. Their midfield, C-Cube, is horrendous. If they don't sign Caicedo, they're going to be starting a midfield of Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez, who's good, but I think is overhyped. And then the third midfielder, I don't even know. Who's going to play.
He's been solid, and Enzo Fernandez.
No,
Yeah,
Enzo's
a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a good player, but he's not what Chelsea fans make him out. He's not on the same level as Partey or as Declan Rice or any of those teams, because I watched him. If he plays against more athletic midfielders, he gets swamped.
I would put Enzo Fernandez up there. He's been
with
solid.
Thomas Partey and Declan Rice.
He's been solid.
He's not the levels of Thomas Partey or Declan Rice I don't think he's up to Martin Odegaard either.
Partey, he has the highs of the highs, and then he has the lows of low. Enzo Fernandez, you're always going to get consistent.
He's had one season. He's had what, half a season in the Prem?
Half a season. He's had
even where he came from, the club that he came from. He's been solid.
He played not even a year at Benfica.
It was awesome.
I rate Enzo, but I don't think he's a world beater yet. You got to give him a full season in the Prem before you can fully rate him, I think.
And honestly,
he's playing in a dead Chelsea team with Frank Lampard at the head of it.
And you know what? TJ, he didn't shine in that dead Chelsea team. He didn't.
Well, no, and that was one of the things too, is he didn't shine, but he was still one of those players that was okay for Chelsea.
Yeah, no, but forget that. The fact that you have Conor Gallagher, who I'm biased here, I think he's a League One player. He is. All he does is run around. You can find 1,000.
I don't think he's League One.
Look, I really don't rate him. I just want to. I'm exaggerating. I just think
I was gonna say I'm glad you said that.
He has no composure. He is nowhere near good enough to play for a Chelsea team that wants to make Europe. And it showed last year because whenever he played, he was awful for them. So in my opinion, Conor Gallagher is not a midfielder that you would think that if Chelsea are going to make the top 4, nowhere near good enough. They need to sign Caicedo. I'm looking at some of the other midfielders they're linked to. If they don't sign Caicedo, they're not very good. So it's Caicedo or bust, in my opinion. So, and then we're forgetting also the goalkeeping position, which is, let's be honest, Kepa's going to make a huge mistake. He'll have an amazing game, but then the next game he'll have the worst blunder ever. And you have the defense. They lost Fofana for the whole season pretty much. And Thiago Silva, a 38 going on to 39, is going to be their best defender, Mahri.
He's still solid. I mean, he's so good.
No, he's an amazing
even
player.
If he's old, he's so good.
Yeah, he's an amazing player. But, no, okay, yeah, he's a great player, but you cannot rely on a player, and he's also injury prone. Yeah. He is. Every season he misses at least a month and a half, 2 months through injuries. He's getting older, so I doubt that's going to be.
I really enjoyed this.
Go ahead. Were you finished?
No, I wasn't finished. Yeah,
sorry.
So I still need to give my relegation. So I said, what did I say? Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, United. That's my 5. I do think Aston Villa will get back into Europe, though. I think they're the dark horse. They're the dark horse. They're going to tear up some trees this season. I really think that. Yeah. Relegation. Highlight Will. Will. Don't take it too seriously, man. Come on.
Finished above us like 3 times in the last decade.
Before
that, we had finished above them for like 22 years in a row.
I know.
I normally don't agree with Will, but sometimes he does talk sense. Even though
jeez. Okay, I shouldn't have even highlighted it. I shouldn't have even highlighted it. I'm moving on. I'm moving on from this.
But I'm
he uses stats.
I cannot do stats with him. I'm sorry.
It's because
I'm sorry. No.
We're not getting into this. Sorry, I even said anything. Big up, Will. I like you a lot. I disagree with this. Anyway, relegation. Luton is going back down. Sorry to say it. Luton's going back down. Sheffield's going back down. Nottingham Forest is going down.
Nottingham Forest. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I do. It's either so I'm going to say 2: Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth. I still have not seen them pick. I still have not seen them pick up enough.
Bournemouth have signed some really good players, TJ.
I don't know, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you, TJ, about that. I'm sorry to interrupt you because you're on your flow a little bit there. But my point, I do agree with you about the whole thing about Aston Villa being a dark horse. I do agree with you there. I don't know about Bournemouth, I don't know about Bournemouth because they've got a new manager in and they're starting a new project. You see what I'm saying? So I think they're going to be an
second year in the Premier
one.
League is an interesting time to start a new project.
I know. Well, I think they've wanted to put their money on this guy, the manager that they got in.
He's super highly rated too.
So for me, I mean, it's an interesting one with Bournemouth. I've got to be honest, and they have got some good young players in that team as well, prospects as well in that team as well. So I just think unfortunately the teams that have gone up, unlike other than Burnley.
Burnley's gonna finish, I think, top 12. Yeah, I really do think they're going to do.
You guys are really don't forget Norwich played amazing attacking football in the Championship and then tried that in the Premier League and they went down twice.
I know, but I don't know. We'll see. I honestly think Burnley will go fairly deep in the domestic competitions too.
I just think Burnley would be okay.
I think Burnley
I think they'll be a bit scared, but I think they'll be okay. I just think Luton and Sheffield United look dumb for me. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I just think that's what I describe. I think that they look like the weak teams. You know what I mean? Right. And Wolves for me, and maybe Everton. But I think Everton can't afford to. They can't afford a season like
Everton. Everton will be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine, but I think they can't afford. I think they will have a bit of a struggle a little bit at the start, but I think they'll get there at the end. But I think they can't afford to be there anyway.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you about Nottingham Forest, to be honest with you. I do tend to agree with you about Nottingham Forest. I
would say Nottingham Forest is more at risk than Bournemouth, but go ahead. Sorry. I just, every time I think of Bournemouth, I'm just like,
they signed some.
Eke out good games.
I love their transfer. I don't know if you saw the players.
But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. Main event. What
No. You carry on. I interrupted you anyway. But my point is that I do agree with some of your points about that anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Stefan, I think you're last.
I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
Chelsea finished 10th.
Obviously, You guys know who I'm going to say is going to finish first. I'm going to put Arsenal first. I think automatic. It's Arsenal, Man City first and second.
I'll
The
repeat
tricky
that.
part is
Arsenal.
third, fourth. So I'm going to put third just because of continuity and just the signings. Even though I don't rate them as highly as people love to hype about them, I think Man United are going to finish third. I do. Fourth, I'm going to go for Liverpool for fourth, but just barely. People raving about Liverpool again. It's the same argument that I'm going to make as Man City. Yes, they've signed exciting attacking players. However, with the loss of Fabinho and Henderson, that's experience and that's leadership. And Fabinho
has grandpa on.
Wait, Fabinho is at his best is one of the best number sixes in the world. Szoboszlai is not going to replace his defensive output. He won't. And I think Klopp.
I think they sealed the deal with Lavia.
Let's see. I mean, if they sign Lavia, okay, but Lavia is not of the level of Fabinho, even though Fabinho had a bad season last year. He's nowhere near the level of Fabinho. I think Henderson, although I don't rate him as a football player, you could see how much influence he had on that team. I'll never forget the game at Anfield where we drew 2-2. Henderson was the main reason why they came back. He was easily their best player that day with Trent. Trent in the second half was also very good. But Henderson led, Henderson galvanized them. So I think they're going to miss him from that standpoint. And the final thing is why I doubt Liverpool is because their defense. They still haven't fixed the biggest issue. If you watch them in any of the preseason games, especially I watched the Bayern Munich game, they were just as open as they were last season. Matip looks awful. He looks completely finished. And Trent is, Trent defensively. So if they don't rectify that, they're going to really struggle again like last season. So I'm going to put them fourth because I just think the other teams I don't think have enough experience or Klopp. I'm going to put fifth. Fifth Newcastle.
Thank you for rating Newcastle. Thank you. People are not taking.
And I think,
I don't get it.
I think TJ they'll just miss fourth because I don't think they have enough depth to cope with Europe and with the league. They just don't, because if Botman gets injured, who's their third center back?
Good point.
Lascelles.
Good point. I just think they have one of the strongest. They have one of the deepest midfields, if not the deepest.
That's true. That's true. But
I rate Isaac, but I just think you can have where you have a good team, but because of that, it's almost like Arsenal in the sense that they have to go take their lumps before they advance. It always happens in sports where that team, before they trust me, they have progressed, but to go 2 steps forward, sometimes you got to take 1 step back. And I just think the Premier League is so hard, and now they're balancing the. Wow,
I agree with you to a point.
Yeah, man, that is a lot. And then you have all 4 on their team really that deep for all 4 competitions. It's saying a lot. It really is.
Mark, I completely agree with you.
I think they're all going to be a good team. I just think the Premier League is tough. I just think it's tough.
I just think that Newcastle, I think some of the defenders that, let's be honest, overperformed their ability. Like, for example, Fabian Schär. People used to take the piss out of him when he played under Steve Bruce. He was amazing last year for Newcastle. I think players like this, kind of like Eric Dyer, when they have like a 3 to 6 month period where they look good, they get found out eventually. So I think the pressure and everything that's why I think they might struggle a little bit. Sixth, I'm going to put, I thought about this. I'm going to put Aston Villa, but just. And the main reason is because if you look at Emery's record, his league finishes are not very good. Even with Sevilla, when he would win the Europa League, most of the times that he won the Europa League with them, he didn't finish in the top four in Spain. With Villarreal, he even finished, I think, if I'm not mistaken, outside of the European places when he won the Europa League. So he's never been. He's more of an amazing cup manager than a league guy. That was one of the reasons at Valencia too. When I think he got to the Copa del Rey final, I think they finished outside of the top 10 that year. So he's always his league. That's why I'm a bit skeptical about Villa, even the fact that they made some really good signings. 7th, this is my surprise inclusion. I'm going to put Brentford in. I think Brentford have made some really good signings. I think Brentford have more continuity. I think they signed a striker who can replace Ivan Toney to some degree. And I just think Mbeumo is one of the most underrated players in the Prem. And I really think that I think Brentford can really make a very good run. 8th, I'm going to put...
Stop at 8th and then go relegation because I'm probably
I'm gonna stop at 8th.
No offense, we've been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, true. Yeah, 8th. 8th, I'm gonna put
midnight.
I'm gonna put Spurs. 8th.
Okay. Yeah. Who's getting relegated?
My relegation candidates are gonna be different from yours. I'm putting first Luton because I just think they just don't have enough quality to survive in the league. And money. I mean, their stadium. Have you seen their stadium? Like it's like
beautiful, but it's small.
Yeah. It's attached to houses. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. It's unique. I like it.
I love it. I just don't think it's kind of like when Blackpool got promoted. Like it's not going to work in the Prem. But I think the other two clubs are going to be established ones. I think Fulham are going to go down. I think Fulham are a complete shit show at the moment. They're losing Mitrovic, who's their best player. He's been refusing to train. He's going to move to Saudi Arabia eventually. And Willian today has put in a transfer request, who was arguably also their player of the season. Paulinho is also out for the first 3 to 4 months of the season, which could mean that they start really badly. And once a team starts really badly that doesn't have stability like Fulham, it can go really bad. So I have a small feeling that Fulham might be awful next year. And my final place, and I'm gonna agree with some of you, is Wolves. Yeah. I think Wolves haven't signed anybody. They've lost their captain and probably their best player. And yeah, I'm worried about Wolves. So yeah, those are my 3 relegation teams.
Okay, some interesting predictions. We will definitely can clip, and season hasn't started yet, so we could technically change those predictions until the season starts. But some very interesting predictions. Just once again, breaking news. We got it. Here we go. So pretty much that's the closest thing to the ink drying on Valise. And me personally, I think it is a good signing. And if Kane is gone, this is where the goals are going to spread. He's good in the air. He's kind of like a taller Lautaro. For me, a taller Lautaro Martinez. For me, a very good knack in the box. His positioning as well in regards to scoring. Is he highly rated when Julian Alvarez was being looked at by us and some other clubs? No, but I think he, for the age that he is, 19, I think it's a good signing, and that's what Spurs need to do. First of all, I would love for Spurs to continue to start recruiting combo players. Start looking at those leagues and start looking at some of those players. There's some good quality people in those leagues from Ecuador, Colombia to Argentina. So I'm really happy with this signing. I'll be even more happy, sad but happy, if they are able to get just another spectacular performance for Valentin Barco.
Mahri is the striker that you're signing. I read that he might be staying on loan for a year. Is he going to stay on loan or come straight to Spurs?
They want to stay till January
Till
because
January.
the season is in Argentina, so they want to
Okay.
till January because the season still goes on. Um, um, it's different the way the season ends in the Argentina league. Right now, my team Boca Juniors we just played a big Copa Libertadores game, round of 16 game yesterday against another power national of Uruguay. So yeah, but I like the signing, and so we'll do a signing of that. Alvarez was the best player in the league when City signed up. Yeah, we will link to him. And as much as I hate River Plate, I was like, he's solid. Enzo
Alvarez is so
Fernandez
good.
solid. And when City signed him, I was like, damn. But you know what? He went to the right team. He went to to Pep. Him going to City was the smart thing. Sometimes, like we talked about Vlahovic, it's not um, it's where you go and who you go to, especially at that age, that will help your career. Because sometimes you could go to the wrong team and damage you, like Vanderbeek. Him going to United was the worst move when he first went to United. I use him as an example. Stabitzer going to Bayern. Um, that was the wrong team for him to go to. So Vlahovic, I said it day one, you clip it. When he went to Juventus, I wasn't saying it because I was a Spurs fan. I'm like, oh, that's the wrong team to go, the wrong manager to go to. And so,
He
and
should
now,
have come to us. He should have come to us when he had the chance. Well, too
I
bad.
mean, even Arsenal would have been a better for him in his game. Would have been better, but
We were willing to pay 70 million for him.
yeah, yeah, and so so that's it. I want to just start with Mr. Box Office because he's our guest. Where can people find you? Let me pull up the your page. I'm not saved. I started. Yeah. Where can people
big up
find you?
Spurs for throwing all of our links in the chat. Appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, Todd Spurs. Where can people find you?
Well, if you don't know where to find me, honestly, obviously you haven't got to know. You need to get to know, and that's it, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's it. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing a few streams, which big up to people because they got me to 100 likes as well, and I like that to continue so we can get us on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and that's
Alliance
it.
was to
Not
debate
that
you.
it really, not that it's any milestone for me at the moment, because at the end of the day, it just pushes the content out, and that's it really, and that shows that the professor in truth and entertainment will just put some truth bombs in people's faces, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. That's it. You know what I mean? Because truth hurts, especially to some Tottenham fans that chat as a load of waffle, and that's it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, people ask me why I don't go on YouTube stream anymore, because I'm mainly arguing my own fans, who are deluded, telling me that Emerson was the third best player last season. You having a laugh?
He's
You know what I mean?
quality,
Just
Alex.
having a laugh.
He's world class.
Actually having a laugh. No, I'm not. I'm not really. Honestly, it's Mr. Box Office TV, the main event, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment, and you're welcome to it. If you don't know, get to know, yeah, and get me up to 100 subscribers. Check in, check out. Back to you, Mary. I'm done.
Yeah. Alliance for Super Chat. He wants to challenge Alex to debate on the Kane being a loser bit, which I would love to see. Me personally, I would lean closer to how would I say this? I would definitely say you have to question his ambition, and I would have to say, from the streets, code of the streets, he hasn't won anything. He has not won anything. You go to the barbershop, you talk to any non-Tottenham fan, not any non-Premier League fan, great player, world-class player, but not a legend. I put it on a couple of shows of the links. This is it hurts, but it is for me.
He's
You
not,
have
he's not a loser, but he's just not a winner. That I think you can be in the middle. You
Guys,
can't.
I love this conversation. This is not happening today.
no,
Do not
Yeah.
get into this now. We can set up a whole nother stream for the 1,000th time. Everybody's talking about whether Harry Kane is a winner or a loser. I do not have time for that. I need to go see my wife. I need to go see my dog. Let's whack this up. Jesus.
Let's wind this up. But we will bring that was TJ's rant of the day.
Oh my
TJ,
God.
where can people find you?
TJ Warren TV. I'm on my way to 500 subs. So if you don't know, get to know your way over to TJ Warren TV and subscribe right now. Co-hosting this show with Mahri the last 3 weeks has been awesome. We're going to make this show into one of the best shows on YouTube. I know it. This is going to be a huge season for us. Thank you again to Tottenham Away for having me. Tomorrow night, American Idiot Show, 9 p.m. UK time.
Check it out.
Join us. Thank you very much.
Stefan, where can people find you? Can they find you on Twitter?
They can't at the moment. I need to be like you guys and start my channel. I'm still not box office. I'm still kind of more of a
Stefan, you are just delusional enough to have a YouTube channel, so you should get into it right now.
That's maybe true. I'm still kind of like a home cinema maybe. I'm still working my way up. So yeah, I'm planning to, but every time I say I'm gonna do it, I just work comes and I get lazy. So I definitely mean to actually start. But thank you guys for the invite and
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Stefan.
The missus on your
No,
kiss.
she's not. I've just been sitting in this chair for 2.5 hours. I need to move around. Good Lord.
That's true.
Well, guys, we'll be back next week where we'll preview our games. The season starts next week, so it's going to be more intense. It's going to be more wild because the season is starting. And so check us out. Please spread the word. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Soccer Sessions. And we are... Wait, Stel?
No, he wants to end it before Stel gets here. End it. Close it.
Okay. So we are... Stel's on there. We are going to end. We are out.